yeah, Tuto Spoon. What, yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. Watch out.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia.
Monrovia,
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa.
Africa.
Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vanjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep my congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What, yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you back today.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
This one you back today.
Okay, folks, 4 minutes down, 8 p.m. here in Liberia. Today is Saturday, the 17th day of June, 2023. The weekend is here, and it's now time for the weekend's edition of Liberia's premier nighttime show. This is Spoon Talk across the Spoon Network. We're live on Spoon 107.5 FM, Super 95.5 FM, as well as Fabric 101.1. Live on Spoon TV, YouTube as well. Let me join James Goodefloma. My name is Diamond Slanger. I'm producing tonight. James, how are you doing? James, I'm not getting your audio. Are you muted? I'm not getting you. Okay, so I'm not getting James. We need to do some adjustment. I'm not hearing you. All right, let me get the theme song and I'll see if we can bring James back on.
A special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia.
Monrovia,
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa.
Africa.
Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision just put a spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, put a spoon. Yeah, put a spoon. Yeah, put a spoon. You from Vonjama, Maryland, put a spoon. Yeah, put a spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, put a spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, put a spoon. Yeah, put a spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today.
Spoon TV. Spoon
This one you got today.
Spoon
Besetu.
Spoon TV. Spoon
Ba-da-ba-de-ba-de-ba.
Okay, James, let's give it a try again and see. No, I'm still not getting you. And all of the settings here.
Yeah, can you get me? Damo,
Go ahead again.
can you get me?
Not getting the audio. All right. James, go ahead. Say something, let me hear.
But Jim, I'm not getting you either.
Okay, I can get the CEO, but I'm not getting James.
Jim know what he's doing. Jim, get out and come back in.
Okay, so
Yeah, but you
CEO,
can get me, right?
yeah, I'm getting you loud and clear, but not James.
Yeah, James is in Europe. I had a European internet can work. Every Saturday to Saturday, the internet goes off. So just remember, James' internet will be going off every Saturday Eve. Then you want Alex. All right, so you got Fagon. Let me get my bottle of water. Do your thing, Dama, and James will be back.
Minister Fagon, how are you, sir?
I'm trying to be a good man.
Okay, good to hear.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, James.
I think it's this computer that has the problem. Yeah, using different device. All right.
So somebody's got their device. Okay, so CEO, you muted.
Yeah, but James is coming in from two areas. Jim, which one we taking off?
No, I'm going off from this side that you see me. I'm using the computer, but it's going to be on in the next few minutes. I'm doing something on it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So what's going on? We got Dido coming in tonight. Wow. Mr. Fagon.
Yes, sir.
What's good, my brother? What's good?
Same old thing, different day.
A wonderful Saturday in the neighborhood. A wonderful Saturday. How's Liberia, Dama Slang? What's going on?
Liberia is okay. On my way to
James is coming in very terribly. Something happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, so on my way to work, I did pass the Invincible Park, and there was such a large crowd. There are other events happening there simultaneously, but the president, was having his usual leisure time at the Invincible Park, and whenever the president is there, it draws a lot of crowd.
Deja vu.
Yeah, so it's just there playing basketball and interacting with citizens as well. So I'll be going to practice next week Saturday with the Spartacus, the basketball team. Yeah, but you invited to come through some hoops with us. We practice.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Nante, Agio, Yeswa.
See my green and yellow.
Fago, the visa I'm going to that, bro. Nante, I'll pick you, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pick you, yeah, please.
I think Damon won't do his yearly sacrifice.
If you say yearly sacrifice, then you talk about harvest, because I don't do anything other than that. So any yearly sacrifice, nope. Anyway, so that's just by the way. I have a video. I have a video that I want to play before I tell you anything else that is happening in Liberia. It's a bit funny, but it has got a deep meaning. It's got a lot of meaning, especially when it comes to what is happening in our country and how we take things, and how we, once we take a side, for us to change our minds, even if it's green, we'll tell you it's yellow. So let's just watch this video. I came across it this afternoon on social
That
media.
a lion, they come here complain to.
This is yam. Say yam.
Na yam.
That what here?
Na kala.
What do you mean? Think cassava?
You know they change the cassava.
So la cassava?
Yeah.
La cassava say yam.
Na cassava.
Or say yam. Just say yam.
Na cassava.
Oh. So you disagree with me? Like your teacher can tell you? Say yam.
Cassava.
You say cassava be you. Say yam.
My teacher again for
Cassava is different.
na cassava.
Cassava is spelled Cassava. Cassava. They want a yam. Y-A-M.
Yam.
Alright.
So, Damon,
All right.
tell us why you playing this. Why? Why are you sharing this video?
So when I came across this video, it then took my mind to how some of us behave in Liberia. When we take a side on something, even if that thing is blue and we say it's green, it's green. You can knock us down, you can tell us any kind of way, anything you do. Once we for a particular side, irrespective of whether the reason for us being there is logical, once our mind is made up, that's that. So the picture the girl is saying is cassava. On the poster, they have yam. If you look at it carefully, it looks like cassava, but again, the illustration says yam. So at the end of the day, that's just that whatever you see it to be and you take it as it is, that is what it is. That's how we have some people in Liberia. They stick to something and they wouldn't change no matter what. Yeah, that's why I decided to share this particular video. It's funny though, but it's got a deep meaning. The lady said like cassava. You like it, you go up, you come down, like cassava.
Fagon, your take.
What I saw in the picture was cassava. What the spelling was, it was yam. Now you say, but Fagon, you want all of that picking? If Damo can just show the video one more time, people will catch what I'm trying to say.
The debate between cassava and yam.
This is yam. Say yam.
Na yam.
That what here?
Na kala.
What do you mean? Think cassava?
You know they change the cassava.
So la cassava?
Yeah.
La cassava say yam.
Na cassava.
Or say yam. Just say yam.
Na cassava.
Oh. So you disagree with me? Like your teacher can tell you? Say yam.
Cassava.
You say cassava be you. Say yam.
My teacher again for
Cassava is different.
na cassava.
Cassava is spelled Cassava. Cassava. They want a yam. Y-A-M.
Yam.
Alright.
You muted.
Yeah, the gentleman told you, you now see it looking like cassava? Was his question? I'm quoting him. You now see it looking like cassava? Every time you bring out Brantin, round general to the hut, you call Dumba, cassava gravy, fufu. This is what the kid is used to seeing. One day, he never carry yam to the man. This day you showed a man 3 things. His statement was, you not see it looking like Kasawa. So he's speaking from what he know and have seen. But she wants him to say yam, Y-A-M. Just because it says Y-A-M does not mean it is yam. Why? In his mind, he is looking at Kasawa. Now, because it's pictorial, she can't cut it, open it. So my thing here is this. Y-A-M, yam. Say yam. The man say, what? You don't see it looking like Kasawa? Like Kasawa. He is holding his ground, Stanton, because that's what he know. About 3 or 4 days ago, you and I had a conversation about the lion, the donkey, and the tiger. And you know what was the verdict? When people perceive something to be this way, to talk them out of it, you will have to go the extra mile to teach them either verbally, visually, or from an observation standpoint. For now, who you will ask, who you think won that debate? It's her, it's him. The spelling is yam, but his visual say it's cassava. And I will close on this by saying to all you distinguished gentlemen, you know that they've been teaching all about Son Deita Keita, Mansa Kankamusa, Sumaguru, the Malian Empire, the Ghana Empire, the Songhai Empire. I ask all of you today, what the hell that got to do with us today? They never told us about science or computer engineering or stuff. They tell us chlorophyll or photosynthesis is the process through which green plants make their food using light. And so, but they ever demonstrated it to us. We just memorize it. I think I applaud the kid. I applaud the kid, and I'm honest about what I'm saying. Don't bring your thing and say that yam. Show me yam. Don't just spell it. So that when you show me, it's what I know. Go and bring down the yam. Don't come show me Kasa picture is spelling yam. We pass that level. That's my take. I may be controversial, but that's my take. What day bringing cassava in the basket?
So let us say this. Listen. This is very interesting.
I get
and
this is.
But hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. This is very deep. Dama.
Yes,
sir. I know you got my message. Can we play the story about the donkey, the lion, and the antelope? If you can.
It will take a minute. So
Let me go ahead. Your work on it, you and James. It's very important because the mindset of a man. They had a show in America before saying from where I sit.
Yeah.
And let me welcome Gibson, Gerald, Gonglo, Global or Media. From where I sit, I'm seeing 8. Or from where I sit, I'm seeing 9. But from where you sit, probably you are seeing 6. All depends from where you sit. So what James and Dama work on this thing about the story about the donkey. And this will help set the stage for Senator DeLong as he come on tonight. Folks, we are having the Montserrado Senator Ibrahim Darius DeLong. It's going to be powerful, wonderful. We will be telling you a story tonight, a story that have not been told in a long time. We want to go back to the old DeLong, the grassroots DeLong, the DeLong that won the first by-election, the second by-election, the DeLong that came when everybody set him apart and said he would not win against CDC. He proved himself the first time. He beat them the second time, and he dared to beat them again, 2023, October 10. So I want to take you to the DeLong. But from where you sit, wherever you may be tonight, amen, I just want you to pay attention to the story we're about to tell tonight. The story DeLong will be telling you tonight. I spoke to somebody today. They said, Stanton, you don't know exactly what's happening in Liberia. Is it ready? All
Yeah,
right,
what we can
play
do
it.
is we can croom it from
It's ready. It's all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
James says ready. Go ahead, let's play.
The donkey told the tiger.
The grass is blue.
The tiger replied.
No, the grass is green.
The discussion became heated up, and the two decided to submit the issue to arbitration. And to do so, they approached the lion, king of the jungle. Before reaching the clearing in the forest where the lion was sitting on his throne, the donkey started screaming.
Your Highness, is it true that the grass is blue?
The lion replied.
True, the grass is blue.
The donkey rushed forward and continued.
The tiger disagrees with me, contradicts me, and annoys me. Please punish him.
The king then declared.
The tiger will be punished with 5 years of silence.
The donkey jumped for joy and went on his way, content and repeating,
The grass is blue, the grass is blue, the grass is blue.
The tiger accepted his punishment, but he asked the lion.
Your Majesty, why have you punished me? After all, the grass is green.
The lion replied.
In fact, the grass is green.
The tiger asked.
So why do you punish me?
The lion replied.
That has nothing to do with the question of whether the grass is blue or green. The punishment is because a brave, intelligent creature like you can't waste time arguing with a donkey, and on top of that, come and bother me with that question?
So what have we learned from this story? The worst waste of time is arguing with a fool and fanatic who doesn't care about the truth or reality, but only the victory of their beliefs and illusions. Never waste time on discussions that make no sense. For all the evidence presented to them, some people do not have the ability to understand, and others are blinded by ego, hatred, and resentment. And the only thing that they want is to be right, even if they aren't. When ignorance screams, intelligence shuts up. Your peace and tranquility are worth more. Sairam.
That's so unique, okay? When ignorance scream, right? You as an intelligent person, be calm.
Be calm.
If they say the grass is blue, let them have it. Let them believe that the grass is blue. Why disturb an intelligent lion? Why bring your wahala? And you as an intelligent man, you know better that the
And you
country,
brave.
and you know you brave. You know better that the country is stink. You know better that the country is filthy. You know for 6 years the people have done nothing. You know better. Why argue with them that the grass is blue when you know the grass is green? When you know people are going to bed hungry? When you know it's true, there is no medication in the country. When you know that the hospital setting is the worst since 1847. When you know George Manuel Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia, have failed the nation, and you must argue with a lunatic, you're trying to argue with a fool? Give it to George Manuel Weah. Tell him you are right. 1847, you are the best president. Make him feel good. Because this grass, though it is not blue, but tell him that it is blue. And tell him that because I say it is blue, he's going to celebrate. But you know what though? Gibson, this is powerful. The child said, that's cassava. And I know, you know, that's not cassava, that yam. Even though the child says it's cassava, the child also refused to spell yam.
Yes.
Though it's not, though the woman said, okay, let's just forget about what you have seen and what picture your t-shirt. But the child said, no. I would not even spell yam. Hey, Gibson, talk to me here. This is so unique for a beautiful Saturday. Okay, forget that it's cassava or not cassava. I just want you to learn how to spell yam. The child said no.
No.
Once I'm looking at that picture that say cassava, I'm not
Cassava.
spelling yam. Hey, man. I am not spelling yam. Go ahead, Gibson.
Some people are very indulged in their ignorance. Even they find it offensive by enlightenment. If you try to enlighten them that what they are saying is wrong, they feel offended. They feel like it's a defeat for them to agree with you. And I like the way the woman said it. When ignorance is making noise, intelligence shut up and listen to the noise. But at the same time, you recognize that the ignorance remains ignorant. And I think it is very resounding. Why would somebody refuse to learn? Do we all not have to learn? Do we all not have to take lessons from someone? So that's what happened to the child. Child doesn't want to learn. Even they said, okay, spell the yam. He said, I'm not even spelling yam. I'm not even going to spell yam because they don't want to acknowledge their ignorance. They feel offended by being convinced that they are wrong. And it happens every time with people like that.
And I want to go back to Fagon, but Fagon, we got to play again because our followers, those that just joining us, I want Diamond to play the first video about the little child, and then we'll play this thing about the lion, the donkey, and that of the tiger. And then let the people, because we're setting this thing for Dylan tonight. It is important.
Stanton, I already heard the video. I already listened to the video.
No, I'm not doing it for you.
No, who doing it for you?
You are not our follower. You're a panelist, man. I'm not doing it for you.
No, but I thought you were actually you're eliciting responses. I thought that's the reason why you wanted to.
But you check. Remember why
I've been listening.
Why your Gongo people always interrupt us?
I've been watching you guys. I've been watching you guys.
Hey, James, hold on 1 minute. Let you hear from the Gongo counselor. Go ahead.
The people say, who invited you?
No, man.
Like collective guilt.
You know, see the thing about that the discussion here is easy to dismiss somebody as being stupid. You know, to say
my camera.
To say the person is not worth an argument or worth a discussion. That's being dismissive. We have to avoid being dismissive of people. And the reason why, even though somebody's argument may be nonsensical, the reason why it's good to engage that person and have a conversation with that person is that it may help you to change perspective. Let me just give this example. I was one of my colleagues one time was talking about how, as you were saying, you people voted for Mr. Weah before, now that what time to vote for Mr. Weah, and we're pointing there. All that kind of stuff. So I told her, I said, don't be saying that thing in the hearing of other people. I know you don't mean it, but other people will hear it and assume that you're saying what you mean. So be careful how you say stuff like that. You don't mean you. I mean, there's no way she's going to vote for Mr. Weah, but she was trying to get under the skin of other people. So it's good not to be dismissive. The kid, you see, I had a situation with my kid, right?
Real quick now, we're setting this.
That's the last point. That's the last point. Children in Liberia, they like to believe that when an authority figure, especially a teacher, tells them something, they tend to believe that and hold that as sacrosanct. So in my kid's school, there's one of the teachers there whose name is a particular name. I will not call a lady's name. But then all the students in the school call her a particular way. She never corrects them. She never corrects them. So the first time I met a woman, she called her name to me. And then my daughter is saying something else. So I told her, I said, no, that's not the woman's name. And I can argue, that's the woman's name. That's how we call her. I said, no, the woman's name is this. No, okay. That's how we call her. It's the same thing in that video that what the kid is doing.
So let's play both video. Let's play both video for the sake of our audience that just joining us. A beautiful start to this program today. We're going to play the little child video, and we're going to play the lion, the donkey, and the tiger video. Damo, please, the little child video first.
This is yam. Say yam.
Not yam.
That what here?
That cassava.
What do you mean the cassava?
You know the cheese the cassava.
So la cassava?
Yeah.
La cassava say yam.
La cassava.
Or say yam. Just say yam.
La cassava.
Oh, so you disagree with me? Like your teacher can tell you? Say yam.
Cassava.
You say cassava be you. Say yam.
My teacher again for
cassava is different.
No, cassava.
Cassava is spelled C-A-S-S-A-V-A. Cassava. They want a yam. Y-A-M. Sorry.
The donkey told the tiger.
The grass is blue.
The tiger replied.
No, the grass is green.
The discussion became heated up, and the two decided to submit the issue to arbitration. And to do so, they approached the lion, king of the jungle. Before reaching the clearing in the forest where the lion was sitting on his throne, the donkey started screaming.
Your Highness, is it true that the grass is blue?
The lion replied.
True, the grass is blue.
The donkey rushed forward and continued.
The tiger disagrees with me, contradicts me, and annoys me. Please punish him.
The king then declared.
The tiger will be punished with 5 years of silence.
The donkey jumped for joy and went on his way, content and repeating,
The grass is blue, the grass is blue, the grass is blue.
The tiger accepted his punishment, but he asked the lion,
Your Majesty, why have you punished me? After all, the grass is green.
The lion replied.
In fact, the grass is green.
The tiger asked,
So why do you punish me?
The lion replied.
That has nothing to do with the question of whether the grass is blue or green. The punishment is because a brave, intelligent creature like you can't waste time arguing with a donkey, and on top of that, come and bother me with that question?
So what have we learned from this story? The worst waste of time is arguing with a fool and fanatic who doesn't care about the truth or reality, but only the victory of their beliefs and illusions. Never waste time on discussions that make no sense. For all the evidence presented to them, some people do not have the ability to understand, and others are blinded by ego, hatred, and resentment. And the only thing that they want is to be right, even if they aren't. When ignorance screams, intelligence shuts up. Your peace and tranquility are worth more. Sairam.
So there you have it, folks. Fagon, before you speak, Fagon, part in the story, the donkey was celebrating. I said it. The grass is blue. The grass is blue. The grass is blue. The donkey was repeating. And the donkey accepted the victory that though you know, and I know, and the tiger know the grass is green. But the fact that the lion, the king of the jungle, told the donkey, you are right. I am the king of the jungle. I am telling you, you are right. We didn't steal 25 million. I am telling you, you are right. There was no 25 million mop-up exercise. You are right. There were no 11 million given to rice importer that they ate. You are right. You are quite correct. There were no 16 billion missing. You are quite correct. We built all the roads in Liberia because they call me a bio medicine. You are quite correct. Look at RIA. We got the best airport in the whole world. Oh, no. You are right. We have the best healthcare system. Therefore, the donkey was celebrating. The king said, I am right. The president said, I am right. So therefore, I am right. Make my case tonight before we bring Darius the law in. All my people, thank you for joining us. That's a wonderful and powerful start of the show. Fagon, talk to us.
This video, I hope that these videos will help many other seditions that haven't made up their mind. Liberia, Monrovia looks like what? What did the president say Monrovia look like?
Miami.
They wear it. You see Miami sting like Monrovia? You see garbage oil in the streets of Miami? We live here. They believe it. If you look at the accomplishment of Talbot, today, this presidency is the best president since 1847. They believe it. This president said he gave 11 million for rice subsidy. They believe it. 30 million stimulus package. No audit. They believe it. Now, let me tell you who the lion is. The lion is JMB. I repeat, the lion is JMB. Why run to JMB and try to argue? It's a waste of time. If you look at Tiawan, Kumis, Clarence, whoever, why are they all running against George Weah? It's because George Weah has failed policies. So if you want to argue with a sedition, then you got to show the video with them getting down from the bus, being paid $2,000. And so the little boy, what he's used to seeing was his argument. Seditions are not fools. And I will tell you this, 80% of seditions will not vote for President Weah. You call me and tell me. The people that are sharing the monies and wearing the beret and singing militant songs, being paid, might do so. But I can assure anybody, the reason why people come to us every day, and permit me to say this, my man, let us say you owe him 700. I don't talk. It's because of this lesson. And 4 days ago, you and I were discussing the same thing. The man can go on a show every day. They talk about you, Stanton. Why you don't respond to them? It's because it's the same video we watch. It's useless arguing with a fool who is set in his own belief. And that's why we're gaining traction. We are leading in all the pools and we'll continue to lead. It's useless arguing with somebody who is set in the belief.
So, folks, we want to say thank you for joining us. We're going to have a wonderful show. AB, I call him James Brown. Darius DeLong, you call him. We want to say the senator, the people's senator, is appearing tonight. He will be in studio 9 p.m. your time, so we get another 19 minutes to discuss what cool people call Tabata. Say what's on your mind as we move on. Mo Ali will be joining us. Dr. Richardson is off today. I learned that she's going on a beautiful dinner, getting ready for Father's Day tomorrow. Happy Father's Day to all of our forefathers. We wish you Godspeed. Fagon, happy Father's Day to you. I heard today you were with the kids. You're spending a lot of money. They would grind you to zero. They're supposed to give it to you, but they would take it from you. Mr. Jeru, happy Father's Day to you. We wish you well on this beautiful day. Happy Father's Day to Councilor Lamy, Mo Ali, or our brother Fadika. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the beautiful father. I wish my father-in-law a wonderful Father's Day. My pastor, or Pastor James, Pastor Raymond, Pakotu, Mobad, we wish them a beautiful Father's Day. To all the fathers out there, we wish you well. As we get set to bring in Darius Dillon in the next 15 minutes or so, we wish him happy Father's Day as well. My people, our people, when we open the phone line, you get someone to wish happy Father's Day, tell them, because tomorrow there is no show tomorrow, but God can bless anybody. So we just want to tell you that do your Father's Day today. Wish that wonderful father in your life a wonderful Father's Day. And please, please, please don't forget, give them the gift that is so deserved. We bless you all, and we'll be having a wonderful show. Fagon, having said everything we just said about the little girl and the donkey and the ignorance and the intelligent folks, what's on your mind? You got to unmute, Fagon.
I'm looking at footages from District 17. Highly impressive. Right now, I even know what to say, sir. I even know what to talk about, because I'm trying to send
I forget my man, Wozy. I'm sorry, Wozy killed me here. Happy Father's Day to Wozy. It may not put in the chat room and say you forget about me. No, Wozy, because you're always on the road driving truck. I don't know whether you're there as a father or that. Anyway, happy Father's Day, Wozy. We leave it like that. Go ahead, Flag. I'm sorry.
So if you go to JMB little rallies, small rally there, you will see something is happening throughout the country. And people are no longer arguing as to who the next president will be. They already know. And that's what's on my mind. The second thing on my mind, I'm happy that Dillon is coming, so we can see whether the Senate will allow the 2 ministers to pass. The last thing on my mind, and Dillon is coming, the people ate the Zogo monies. I want to know from him, when are they calling Soga and what's his name? Twe, to bring the people money. That's what's on my mind.
You meant District 13 instead of District 17, correct? Where JMB had a program today. Was it 17 or 13?
13, sorry.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Let me bring in Gibson. Gibson, what's on your mind, bro?
First of all, it is a great thing to have Senator Dillon today. I really want to, and thank you, Eugene, for talking about that. The Zuko money, but I also want to ask more questions about the governance system within the legislative arm of government. How are the senators? How is it that things pass so easily through the Senate? Is it merely because the opposition are less than the pro-seditions, or is it because the opposition senators are not fighting more, are not convincing more? What is happening? And Dillon himself, there are questions about him saying one thing and doing one thing. We'd like to ask the question that the public have out there. Maybe he answers some of these questions and hope some of the questions that he has not answered will be able to put that to him in a more respectful way so that he can be able to give us idea where he stands on those issues.
Okay. I mean, just send a link to Wozi, let him come on. Wozi is crazy. I mean, the other guy coming out show eating. I mean, you won't finish eating before you join us, Councillor? You're not allowed to eat in court. You're not allowed to eat on the show. We can wait for you if you finish eating.
What made you think I'm eating?
What kind of guy is this? He asked what made me the thing and mouth shaking. So that I
go be chewing gum.
You can chew. So you're not allowed to even chew gum.
It's the same as eating. You are eating.
You cannot
gum.
rack your jaw.
No, chewing gum is not the same as eating.
But man, I beg you, please don't rack your jaw on the show. But go ahead, make your point. What's on your mind?
Please don't rack your jaw.
Sorry for making you feel like eating, but I'm not eating.
I can eat my cola too. I can eat my cola.
No, what's on your mind?
The state of the economy of Liberia continues to be of interest to me. There are, as I always say, there are hundreds of thousands of people who go to bed hungry every day in this country. They live a state of destitution. Their welfare and their well-being is something that should be of concern to all of us. You see these kids in the street and they are there, they are begging for a little bit of money for sustenance. I mean, some of them have to get involved in crime. There are some people that have to sell their bodies in order to make ends meet. Those things are concerning. And I'm thinking that we should make it our business, all of us Liberians who want to see the back of this government, we should make it our business to tell those people that the situation is going to change. Come October, they should use their one share that they have in this state, because all of us have one share. And right now, the National Elections Commission is doing exhibition for people who register to vote. Go out there and make sure that your name is on the list, so that come October 10, you don't go to register to vote and then they say your name is not on the list. I understand that there's an online version. Online, we are also checking whether your name is on the list. We should all do that. We should encourage the masses of people out there who go to bed hungry every day, who do not know where the next meal is going to be coming from. Encourage them to get out there. Encourage them to make the right decision. And the right decision will be voting Mr. Weah out of office. Okay. Whether they vote for us, which I think is the best, or whether they vote for any of the other opposition people, is for us now to debate amongst ourselves which of us present the best opportunity. But we should be clear in our message that they have to vote Mr. Weah out in order for the state of destitution to be resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, folks. We say thank you again. We have but 11 minutes to bring in Abraham Darius DeLon. We want to say, listen, a lot of stuff on our mind, but let me start with, first of all, Fagon. I totally agree. Where is the Zoko's money? $13.9 million, folks. Can we ask the question? Is it a fair question to ask? The president declared that last year, 2022, July. June 30th actually was the program. It appeared on the newspaper July 1st. What's happening? What's happening with the promise made? One of the many promises. What's happening with this little one? That the guys down doing coach, going crazy. We can play the video. The president promised the people we'll do everything in our power to restore our young men and women to better living, to good health, take them to rehab. We will work with the Ministry of Youth and Sport. Zoga Wilson was present. Can we put that picture up, guys? The picture when Zoga Wilson was standing by the president. He's supposed to have it, Dama. And I don't know who's taking this picture from the live feed. You don't be taking the picture, please. It's important. Sometimes we go back to it. James, can we put it up, Dama? And the president declared, he was in his rare suit. He declared, he made a promise. Now, Zoga Wilson came back. Hope we have the Zoga Wilson video. Please don't say you took it down. Yes, the president, that's Zoga Wilson. And you know them all. It's clear. $13.9 million. $13.9 million. What's the people money? Now, the president made that promise though. Can we play the video when Zoga was Mecca last week and he spoke? The reason why he have not gotten the money. Can we please play the video? If you get it, just play it, please.
It will take a minute to process. It's processing. It will take a minute.
Thank you very much.
First person asked me that about the contributions so far that have been made to the At-Risk Youth Project. When the project was launched, we were able to raise a little over $28,000 that has been deposited in the UBA Bank. Our UN partners have committed $3 million to its contribution, $1 million last year and $1 million this year. And unfortunately, we have yet to receive the amount from the Ministry of Finance. And the question was, how can one contribute?
So, folks, as we move closer to everything we discussing tonight, let me ask you, Gibson. It's not me. The Minister of Youth and Sports, D. Zoga Wilson, he's saying the promise that was made, $3 million was promised by international partners. They get the first $1 million. They get the second $1 million. But the only thing Zoga Wilson have ever received, raised by himself, a little over $28,000. Talk to me, Gibson. Unmute, Gibson. Can you unmute?
And I'm glad that DeLon is coming. He will throw some light, and we'll get to understand what's happening in the Senate. But this is the George Weah government that we all know. George Weah, when you talk about George Weah like money, people think you are playing. George Weah, his intention is to enrich himself. That's the way I see the way he behaves, to enrich himself. So if you go to the international community in the name of the Zocos or the challenged youth in the streets, if you go to the international community and they give you money, why wouldn't you use that money for the reason why you went to them? You use the poor people name to get money and enrich yourself and neglect them, and you expect them to come back tomorrow and clap hallelujah to you. That is the kind of president we are talking about. Using the name of the ordinary people, using the name of the poor people, using the name of the Zocos, collect 1 million, collect this other million, and you cannot give it to the ministry that's supposed to do the job. So this is very, very embarrassing for all of us because the international community is following these things. This is why we do not have the kind of respect. George Weah have brought the name of the country down in the eyes of the international community. And that is what we are trying to fight as hard as we can so that we can restore what he has messed up.
Thank you very much. Let me ask you, I think we discussed this, but again, because the Lord is coming and this is something that was on Fago's mind. Is it fair to say that the government should speak? Tell us what happened with the $2 million received, and up to now, over a year, there's nothing, no movement, Councillor Lamy. What's going on?
Anything that has to do with accountability should be something that we should push for. If monies are meant for the public good and they are collected by whosoever, whether the person is a private person or the person is a government person, those monies should be used for the intended purpose. So we should all be up in arms to ask for accountability when it comes to money that has been collected for a particular purpose. If the money is meant to take care of disadvantaged youth or disadvantaged people or people who are drug victims, it should be used for the intended purpose. None of that money, now a penny of that money should end up in somebody's pocket. If a penny of that money ends up in somebody's pocket unduly, that person should be made to restitute and that person should spend some time in prison as to serve as a deterrence to other people to discourage them from doing it. You know, I said the other day, we got to get married to our laws, right? We have laws on the books in our country that make it illegal for someone to divert public resources to their personal use. The laws are there, they're clear. So, I mean, the good thing is that we are in June. We'll soon be at October 10th. By the time we hit January, probably maybe around the 20th next year, we'll be talking about a brand new president. And at that point, we should all start forcing our president on day one to start taking real action against the people who are doing nonsense with our public resources.
Fago, let me ask you, Lamy. Let me ask you, my brother. My man, when these guys then they fear not. And the $2 million was international collection, though. International partner gave 1 mil and gave another mil. But the minister, Dizo, saying that I have not received it. Who got the money?
Well, you say the people are not afraid, right?
Go ahead, speak to us, Councillor.
You said the people do not seem to be afraid. You mean our government?
I mean Samuel Twe and George Weah. And the rest of the government folks that play with the money.
At this stage of the political process, if they are not afraid, then I want to know what they know that the rest of us do not know. Maybe there's something the rest of us do not know that they know that making them not to be afraid. Is it that they're thinking that or whoever wins the election will not go after them for the things that they've done? Is that what they are thinking about that makes them to be not afraid? Or are they thinking that, are they sincerely believing that they're going to succeed themselves? Maybe they know something that we do not know. But one thing I can tell you for free is that if Councillor Gonglo becomes president of this country, nobody goes free for betraying the public trust. You do. There's no way you go free. Even the people who will argue statute of limitation will find a solution to that problem. Will find a legal solution to the statute of limitation problem. And we already know what the legal solution will be. We'll find a legal solution.
I know, because you're Senator and Councillor Gonglo, I mean, your councillor and likewise Councillor Gonglo. Fagon, you brought this thing in. Let me ask you though, no fear, Fagon. Don't partners, not even Liberian money, because Liberian money, Zoga said, I'll raise a little over 28,000. But if people test you, they give you the first 1 mil. They ate it. They give you the second 1 mil. So where's the accountability? What I mean, and our youth are dying on the street. Let's just remain on this a little bit. But it's this got to go in the mindset of Liberian. What the guys did, just stealing, eating the Liberian people money without shame. Samuel Twer, he cared less. Look at President Weah that make the promise, 13.9 mil. It was just an empty promise that we made. Talk to us, man, because I'm bringing in Mo Ali and the senator is in the back also. Talk to us, Fagon.
CEO, listen, senator, listen and listen very well. This one, I really want you to listen and listen very well. Gibson struck a point. It's not President Weah first time. Many of us are old enough to understand the
I know you are talking. I beg you. I will bring in the senator. You will finish up because I don't want to keep him in the back too long. So continue speaking while I bring in. Ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing in Senator Abraham Darius DeLong. He's our guest for tonight, and we'll be having a very, very interesting conversation on all national issues. Give us your time. Share the video. Once Fagon finish, we again introduce the senator to you. Go ahead, Fagon. Finish up.
Before I finish, let me just draw your attention. It's actually 9 o'clock in Monrovia. DeLong say 3 minutes after 9. Why he rushing going?
Oh, you look at the make flag behind there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the make flag behind there.
Anyways, this man signed a contract with Diadora. Gibson, you remember the Diadora contract? Everybody know what happened with that contract. It was the same thing to help the youth population.
Diadora gave him the jersey, the ball, the
boost plus the money,
everything, and he comes and the Liberian government.
Let me very fast because I really want to bring him along.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish quickly. The money was given for Zogo. DeLong just went to the Senate. Look at the rehabilitation center he got. As I speak to you now, it's 65 minutes in the game. Brazil is playing Guinea. Brazil is leading Guinea 3-1. 65 minutes in the game right now as I speak to you. We will not play no international friendly, according to Zoga. They gave this money for Zogo, and we're not saying they say. We're not speculating. You heard the man. The first 1 million declared. The second 1 million declared. The best thing we can do on this platform, the international community listens to us. I think it's only fair we contact them and tell them that the purpose for the money is not being utilized and that they shouldn't give the third 1 million until JNB takes over.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring in Monte Serrano, second senator, or one of the two. Abraham Darius DeLong, we love to have you like always. This is your network, the People's Network, and you are always welcome. You've been joined today by Mo Ali, Honorable Fagon, Councillor Lamin Pakor, Gibson, Jerry, myself. Dr. Richardson is off today because she's preparing for Father Day. I think they're going out there to eat. I believe so. But you are always welcome. You are on our international network, on Spoon, on Fabric, on Super, and on all of our relays, on all of the social media, including YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and everything. Thank you for joining us. Let's have a Spoon Talk, sir. Welcome.
And let me say good evening. Let me say good evening to listeners in Liberia, across the country, and good day wherever you are around the world. Good evening, good afternoon to you guys in the studio. And I'd like to add that Bourgeois Radio FM 98.1 in Monterey County is also relaying this show tonight. I'm excited to be here. Let's go.
No, let's just start this thing. You met this, something that was on. We usually ask, what's on your mind? The first person we asked the question to was Minister Fagon. You see, I'm concerned about what Zoga said. I believe you are listening to it, but for the sake of our audience that just joining us, I'm going to play it. We're going to show the president picture. June 30th of 2022, the president appeared. Let's put the president picture up, guys, please. So this is President Josh Manowiak. Alongside is Zoka Wilson and all those that were part of the program at that time. On this occasion, the president promised 13.9 million United States dollars to fight the problem we have in our country. High increase of Zogos. This is President Josh Wiak. Last week or so, we have the message from Diesel. Very frustrated. Help me if I'm wrong. And let's play it.
First person asked me that about the contributions so far that have been made to the at-risk youth project. When the project was launched, we were able to raise a little over 28,000 United States dollars that has been deposited in the UBA Bank. Our UN partners have committed $3 million to its contribution, $1 million last year and $1 million this year. And unfortunately, we have yet to receive the amount from the Ministry of Finance. And the question was, how can one contribute?
Let's hear from you, Senator DeLong. Unfortunately, we have yet to receive a dime from the Ministry of Finance. Talk to us.
Thank you. When we demand budget performance report, people think we want talk for the camera. When you project a budget, you appropriate it and pass it into law, it is still a projection of what you expect to generate. Budget performance report will determine whether the money was raised and whether it was turned over to the sector institution. Expenditure report will now do the proper financial breakdown and accountability as to how, if the money was generated and properly allotted to the various sector institutions, the expenditure, financial expenditure report from these sector institutions will determine the utilization, how, the accountability aspect. But this government, this regime, I don't normally say administration, I like to say regime deliberately because sometimes it sounds offensive, negative. This regime is not one for, it doesn't fancy accountability. And so hearing from the minister says to me that LRA generated the money and the finance minister or the finance ministry did not disburse the money. We can have LRA suggesting that revenue collection is performing, but expenditure is poor. It's not performing. And that is why we've taken some steps in the last few days and cited that at least we believe we are generating the number in the Senate, especially in the Senate, with the new rescue mission train, with additional senators joining ranks to stand up to demand these accountability issues, and so that we can have the vote. As chairman on the Senate Youth and Sports Committee, I will take it a duty to have the minister come on next week so that we can speak or talk about these issues. I don't need plenary endorsement to do committee work. I need plenary's endorsement to endorse committee's report and recommendations for implementation and enforcement. Every committee in the Senate is authorized to work. And if we are not receiving cooperation from the sector institutions, then we ask plenary to intervene with plenary full weight and authority. And so next week, in the coming week, as chairman of the Senate Youth and Sports Committee, I will have a discussion with the minister, and then we'll pick up from there. Because as far as I know, 2022 budget year ended December 31, 2022. We are in mid-year of this current budget year, 2023 budget. We have passed the first quarter of this year, and there is no budget performance report as yet. Those of you who follow the Liberian Senate, on Tuesday, I raised this on the Senate floor, and we got the blessing of the Senate to write the Minister of Finance to submit budget performance report for the first quarter of this year. And while doing so, that the Minister of Health should give us a expenditure report on funding for all medical facilities across the country, public medical facilities across the country. So next week is going to be some interesting time. But I wanted to roll over some issues there. There are nominations being sent by the president. We have in before us the roll fund. We are dead serious about the roll fund issue. The money will have to be paid. We are just about winding down on the $15 million that was spent or said to have been spent on rest subsidy. It was not 11, it's actually 15 million. It's not 11 million. We are hearing word that there's likelihood for the executive to submit a recast budget, for us to do a recast of the current budget. All of these issues, we are hearing word that the executive is about to send us some financing loan agreements, borrowing. We are discussing among ourselves, and we are resolving that there will be some nominations, some confirmation that we will not let go through. At this point in time, we will not allow President Weah to appoint people to tenure positions on the heels of election. We should not allow it, and the reason is simple. When George Weah took over as president in 2018, one of the first actions he sought to take was to de-tenurize through the legislature all tenure positions. The reason was that the previous government appointed a lot of people to tenure positions, and they are in those positions with tenure, but they do not fall in line with the vision, total vision of the regime. And if you wanted legally tenurized position to be de-tenurized, then on the eve of election that you likely will not win, and we who say we are gathering to rescue the country, we cannot, we should not be allowing such confirmation of people to PPCC, the Public Procurement Concessions Commission, confirming people to LACC, the Liberal Anti-Corruption Commission. No, we shouldn't allow that. To recast the budget, there must be there must be budget performance report with accountability. The road fund must be collected and people must be punished for colluding with the road fund. The collection of that money, the refusal, neglect to pay, people must be punished. During the budget hearing for 2023, the Senate will deliberately put the $20 million from road fund in the budget. If the final minutes, if the LRA neglects and fails to collect that money, and companies not owing government, but they collected government storage fees, and for some technical reasons, they were keeping it. And when time came to turn the money over, they went into some negotiations, stipulations, which has expired more than 2-3 years. In order to compel compliance on part of LRA, the Liberia Revenue Authority, to collect that money, we projected it in the budget, appropriated it, and passed the budget. Any failure to collect the $20 million on road fund, there will be a shortfall of $20 million in the budget. It will be a neglect. Action must be taken. I just wanted to lay this basis and this premise so we know how the discussions can flow.
Thank you very much, Senator DeLong. I like the, if you want just to be precise, you have it, send it to me, that we can take it bit by bit and discuss it, because you outlined a lot of stuff which is very interesting to the discussion tonight. Once you send it to me, I'm going to drop it in the chat room and everybody will have some focus point in drawing their question. But let me say this to you, DeLong. You just correction. Zoga Wilson said the partners promised 3 mil. They have given 2, not the entire 13.9. We don't know who else have contributed, but focusing on the 2 million and up to 9 over a year, that the government cannot say anything. Zoga Wilson came out frustrated. You, DeLong, you did extremely well by providing a rehabilitation center for some of the youth out there that is very, very at risk. Seeing what you see and knowing what you know right now, and as chairman on Youth and Sport, you know you're going to call Zoga Wilson in. You heard anything out there concerning the 2 million? What is happening? What is the neglect that people can walk in and just use this money freely with no question? What is happening on the part of the government, the executive? Why are they running free?
So if you promised me $10 and you did not give me the $10, that means I don't have $10. If I'm supposed to raise $30 and you say if you raise $5, I will give you the $25 to make it 30, and I don't raise $5, there's a likelihood that I'm not going to get the $25 from you to make it 30, because I will need the $30, have not demonstrated any seriousness on my part to even raise $5 for you to give me the $25 so that I can get the $30 to do what I have to do with it. I'm not sure if the partners have not paid. I would want to speculate, which is not a credible thing to do, would be because the government itself has not raised its own amount that it pledged. If the government has raised $1 million that was promised by the president, pledged by the president on behalf of the government, submitted to us in a draft budget, and we approved it. If the minister is saying he has not got a dime, then either the LRA has not raised the revenue, or the LRA has generated the revenue, but the Minister of Finance has not allotted the money to disburse it. So we'll be asking the minister if he has put in the request in keeping with the budget law, and what the finance minister is saying to inform our next course of action.
Real quick, my last question, then we can move on. Senator DeLong, Zulka Wilson is the minister. He said 2 million have been collected from the partners. He said it. 1 last year, 1 this year. He have not seen the money. So it's not about what the government promised from their own coffers. It's what partners have given them.
So the minister will formally inform the committee, and the committee will formally take the action before plenary for the proper remedy.
But as a chair on that committee, do you know anything? Well, I mean, what Zulka is saying, did he discuss it with you? Have you spoken to anyone from that ministry? Is it true that partners contributed 2 million? Do you, I mean, can you tell Liberians to know whether you were aware of 2 million being collected from the partners since you are the chair on youth and sport?
No, our supervision role or our oversight role does not delve deep into the administrative running of the sector institutions. We are more like policymakers. We ask questions, and if there's hiccups in implementing, in showing empowerment, they are creating the enabling environment for things to happen, then we step in. Okay. I can say that the minister has not formally informed me. The fact that he said it at the Ministry of Information, the government official press briefing every Thursday, that means he had made a formal statement to the country, and that is room and justification enough for us to act as a committee, because this is serious. The issue about drugs, the issue about rehabilitating our underprivileged wayward citizens who are addicted to drugs and substance abuse is something that we take seriously. We have spoken to these things. You hear me, see me, I don't talk much about the rehab center we built, and I continue to say we, because it is the Liberian people think, it is the ordinary people think. They believe us, they donated, some publicly, some quietly, they continue to do so, and they see their money worth in action. And so they are excited to do monthly contribution, donations at the center. That center was to put the light on the dark spot about drugs and the need for rehabilitation. That center is intended to be a pilot project for national discussion on drug and rehabilitation, and not just for national discussion, but for national action. And if this pilot project can be run by one person backed by the people, the ordinary people, if government decides to take charge, take full responsibility to act, it will be on a larger scale with a larger positive impact.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Senator DeLong. We appreciate that answer. Honorable Fagon.
First of all, thank you for appearing, Honorable Senator. We have our young people watching, and thank you for the stance you took when, in contravention of Article 3 of our Constitution, 2 officials from the executive branch of government entered the sacred chambers of the Senate and literally took away the presiding officer, the pro tem. What do you guys plan to do? Our kids are watching, our young people are watching, the world is watching.
When the Supreme Court is in session, not even the president of Liberia can enter that chamber and say he wants to see the Chief Justice. When the Supreme Court is in session, To enter that session, you must be allowed, authorized, permitted. You must enter in utter silence to demonstrate respect for the sanctity of that chamber. I have not entered any cabinet meeting before as a private citizen and or as a senator. Well, at least I can bet that when there's cabinet meeting of the cabinet, no lawmaker can walk in cabinet meeting without authorization and just disrupt cabinet meeting. We have disrespected ourselves so much as a legislative body that even assistant ministers do not have respect for the sanctity of our chambers when we are in session. This has been painful. This has been very, very embarrassing. We had to condone it for a long time until Thursday, day before yesterday. Why did I raise it? When the Maritime Commissioner, Eugene Namwe, and the Minister of Finance, Samuel Tuer, back into our session and just asked the pro tem to come see them, and he immediately called Senator Sal Joseph in order of ranking to come preside. I insisted, no, it won't happen. The sanctity of the chambers of the Senate has been so disrespected by us first, but not respecting our own chamber. And so anybody can just walk in. And the reason I started to disrupt in a constructive way, to call the attention to this nonsense for it to end, is because we are growing the number. Ordinarily, long before this rescue train and this rescue mission, if I had raised this same disruptive, positive, disruptive attitude, I would have been defeated on the floor. Now we have the number. When we stand up and say, this will not pass, this is not happening, we have the number to stand by, to join. And so what happened on Thursday was disrespectful. We pick it up with plenary, and we want to set an example so that nobody else will dream about or attempt to do it. We want to build a Senate where when we say we're sending for a minister, and that citation or someone reaches you today that you are appearing next week, you will start to fast and pray because you're going to face serious issues. That's the kind of Senate we want to build. And that's the Senate we're looking forward to.
We look forward to action being taken as a result of what happened.
So what I can say, we'll raise this issue in a consultative meeting among senators. If reasonable outcome is not derived, we will make it a plenary issue for action.
Okay. I heard you talk about an attempt to recast the budget. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
We are getting credible information that there's a likely shortfall in the budget. You know, the national politics of the day, and understandably so, has taken over the country, so people don't normally follow what's happening in the legislature. And some people have decided not to waste their time to follow what's happening at the legislature, because we, as an institution, have dampened the people's hope in majority in a long time. So the people have developed the perception that nothing will happen over there, so no need to waste my time. during the budget hearing, some of the reasons for which 4 of our senators did not vote to pass this budget: Senator Lawrence, Senator Jonathan Subway, Senator Darius Dillon, and there's another senator whose name I don't remember offhand. Were 4 senators who did not vote, and the records are available. No, it's not yea and nay. We asked whether this budget was realistic or just overly ambitious for the sake of the politics. We asked whether we can raise the revenue of $700 million. Because if you study the political environment, not only under the Weah administration, most times during election year, the tendency for the economy to take a dip is very, very possible. People have the tendency to wait and see the election year. So I want to bring plenty of goods before something happens. And businesses have the tendency of lowering or reducing their imports.
Yeah.
So revenue will not flow as normal non-election year. Yeah. And the CDC regime loves to make this flamboyant, overly ambitious pronouncements to excite their base. So for instance, if Mr. Ellis Cummings says, "You make me president, I can take our budget to $1 billion. CDC wants to prove it that they can do $1 billion, even if they don't have the source to generate the revenue. So when they brought the budget, we asked these questions. Now, our question that was unanswered at the time appears to now have found the answer by the executive decision to do a recast of the budget, because there's a likelihood of $44 million shortfall already. There's a likelihood of $44 million. So they want to recast the budget with a reduction of $44 million. We are discussing among ourselves, the rescue mission senators, with the growing number, to recast the budget could be an easy thing to do. But you will give us budget performance and as well as expenditure report before we consider that.
While you are that, let me ask you, during the State of the Nation address, and then we'll go to Lamin, and then Mo Ali, and then Gibson. But during the State of the Nation address, the president admitted that 15,000 people make below the minimum wage. Were they captured in the budget? If so, tell us. If not, what can you tell us? And if they weren't captured, because he made an appeal for additional $6 million, what happened there? And
that was captured.
There's a recast budget.
That was captured. And I don't want to think that if there is a proposal, which is very likely, for the recasting of the budget, I know the Weah regime dares not take that $6 million away. It is election year that George Weah realized that for 5 years, after he harmonized the people's money, in election year, he realized that they were not making the right amount. What George Weah wanted to do was to play the normal politics with the Senate or the legislature to say, I wanted to put your money there, I proposed it, but the legislature didn't pass it. We gave it to him. The legislature passed it. Now they can't raise it because their poor governance is affecting in a negative way the economy and the private sector. So if the legislature, we did not vote on the budget, but institutionally the budget was passed by majority, so it is an institutional decision. If the legislature has not passed that budget with that $6 million, George Weah and Samuel Tower will be on the microphone every day to say we wanted to increase your money. The legislature said no. The politics he wanted to play, we send it back to him in the executive mansion with the budget that he sent. We approve it institutionally.
Thank you. Lami? Councillor Pagoy? Are you there, Councillor?
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't get the last question you asked about some 6 million. I really didn't get the antecedent of the question. But I have this question for, I mean, if it's the same question, then fine. The what's fee that Mr. Weah and his people been making all the noise about? Is this something that you people allocated in the budget? I think that's a softball one. I mean, is this something that you're allocated in the budget? And if it is,
the what's fee.
What do you allow? What do you people say they allow it to be politicized? I mean, if it is our money that is being spent.
For George Weah had never spent any money from his account since he became president, his personal account. Even though the account, and the $80 million George Weah is a Google. If you Google George Weah, that's where you'll find the $80 million on Google. It's not in any bank account. It's not in any asset. It's not in any raw cash. George Weah $80 million is only found on Google, not in any bank and not in any asset. Anything you see or hear George Weah doing as president is from government's cover. The first misleading information George Weah and his regime lied to the people about was the roofing of homes in Gibraltar. And he said it was private. It was his personal intervention. And they went to the budget, the Ministry of State budget of over $400,000 to $1 million to roof those people's homes, government money. George Weah publicly said himself that the Invisible Park was a private initiative, personal. We passed a budget with over $500,000 for that Invisible Park. The policy of the executive mansion through the president to pay WASH fees for students across the country is not from George Weah's Google money. It's from the public money. Every year the budget is passed. Every year the budget is passed with that amount appropriated by the legislature. And let me thank you for the question. That is why I have continuously said, if we do not have program-based after-math budget, it's difficult to track anything. It's difficult for the people to understand that the legislature's role is to appropriate. And then we give the budget back to the executive to go implement what we have appropriated. The simple way to put it, it is the legislature that can divide the food in different plates and give it to the executive to go distribute. And if the executive did not distribute, then the legislature has the functional authority to ask questions and demand accountability and demand actions where people are culpable. When you pass if you pass a buck figure budget, and say, for instance, under Minister of Education, under the office of the minister, or for University of Liberia, there's $1 figure there for administrative costs, which could also include WASH fees, or under the Ministry of Education, $1 figure under the office of the minister that includes WASH fees. Then when the payment is being made, then it comes across and they announce it like the president paying WASH fees for the students, and the thing is from his Google account, but it's from the budget. If we don't pass it, if we don't approve it, the IRA revenue generates it, they can't spend it, because you can't spend government money outside of budget approval by the legislature.
So, I mean, maybe the way you people been passing it, probably that where the problem is. Maybe that if that money had been given directly to the West Africa Examination Council, as money projected for high school students or non-grade students or whatever categories they are, then maybe they will not be politicized like this. But my second and most important question, if not saying that the other one is not important, you made a policy statement, and I think that's the most important thing you've said so far tonight. You made a very serious policy statement on not confirming people who are being appointed to tenured positions. Did I get that clear? Did I get that clear? I don't want to be sure I got it clear so that I can follow up.
Yes.
Okay. So what informs, I understand you talked about how Mr. Weah violated the law when he came to power. And I don't think it's a good thing to follow suit with him. So maybe that's the reason why you're trying to avoid the next government having to violate the law no, Mr. Senator, you're way smarter. You said he violated the law, and he did. He did violate the law by going after people who had tenure positions when he took power. You know, totally not law-abiding. He did all that. So now you are saying that to forestall that, you want to stop, you want to block all confirmations for people who are appointed to tenure positions, so that and one thing you said I don't agree with you is that their philosophy, if their philosophy does not align with the government of the day, those people should be independent. Their governing philosophy doesn't necessarily have to align with the people who are in power. If someone is appointed to the LSCC, the person's function as a commissioner of the LSCC should not be fixated or should not be linked to any governing philosophy. The person should be independent. That's the whole idea behind independence. But how are you going to succeed in doing this? Do you have the numbers? Obviously, to block confirmation, you will need minimum 16 people to block a confirmation of anybody. Do you have those 16 people?
So let's start with a bit of correction. I did not say that President Weah violated the law on people with tenure position when he became president. I said he sought to repeal the law granting tenure because he said the previous government just appointed people to those positions, and some of them are ineffective, some of them are not in line with the vision of his administration and all that stuff. But what I've said, we are building a block and growing the number to put a hot suspension on conforming people to LSCC at this point in time, PPCC at this point in time, so that because the government is already a lame duck one at this point as we go into election. You want to appoint people who are aligning with your vision to fight corruption, in line with the law creating those institutions. In line with the law creating those institutions. We want to be clear and sure, definitely sure, that we have people in those positions after the election who will do the work in conformity with the law. We want people with the character and the courage to look a president in the face and say, no, that's not what the law says. I will do the law notwithstanding, because the law gives me protection from intrusion and intimidation. And you can only remove me for established cause. We want people to be in alignment. And you, at this point, you want to appoint just anybody. One of the nominees for PPCC, for instance, is a Reverend whose CV is all about how long he's been preaching. Nothing about any experience in procurement and the policy for procurement and the integrity about procurement. Nothing. Everything about how many pulpits he has been on and how many Bible school certificate he got. When you confirm this kind of person at this late hour and they can do their job into the next administration in keeping with the law, you can remove them because they have tenure. These are some of the technical things we are looking at. And these are some of the reasons why we think a lame duck government and a lame duck president at this point in time should not be given the leverage. He has the authority under the Constitution to make his nominations. The Senate has the authority under the Constitution to determine whether to confirm or not. And once we have the number, we can determine whether we'll let it go or not.
Thank you very
All
much,
right,
Senator.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Fagon. I believe that
I
we're
asked-
going
I
to
asked the
give
senator whether he has
we
16
were
whether he has
we
16
will get back to
senators.
you, Councillor. Okay, Senator, can you just quickly answer?
I'm not sure of 16 yet, but I'm sure of a number that can hold the floor. I'm sure of a number that can hold the floor.
You mean like
And
do we have the filibuster? Do we have that filibuster?
Now we gotta
where you
move
can
on
vote
now.
before-
Councillor, we gotta move on. Let's come back to you, please.
Stop that. I think his question is relevant. Let me answer him in a second.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We don't have the filibuster law here, filibustering law. And our indiscipline, our lack of tolerance for even a colleague to stay on that floor for 5 minutes or so, even if it's making sense, but that sense is tilted. It doesn't seem to be okay with our political leaning. The floor goes rowdy and people are impatient and they want you to take your seat. But if you have the number that can make that place hot for the potent gavel, trust me, a lot can happen, and we are growing that number. I will do it deliberately to keep insisting that the notion, the perception that was even busted by the media and caused the public to have believed that opposition has been majority in the Senate has never been true. The perception, for some reason, that some people didn't sit back to even think to say how is it happening, it's not true. The perception that in 2020, opposition on CPP won majority seats have never been true. Out of 15 seats in 2020, CPP won 6. Within 3 months, we lost 1. Simeon Taylor went to CDC within 3 months. Now, with the latest move for rescuing the country and getting on the train, you have Senator Dillon from Monserrado County, you have Senator Lawrence from Grand Bassa, Capia from Grand Bassa, you have Steve Zago from Lofa. We have 4 already from the Liberty Party end. Then you have Senator Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn, who we never had before. If you add them to the 4, we now 6. If you do Prince Moyi and Dr. Henry Toba of Bond County, you have 8 already. You include our original opposition fighter, Senator Jonathan Borja Segwit as 9, including Communist Wizard as 10. If you add now Jason Smith, who was independent, still independent, but has decided to go with the rescue, that's 11. If you add Boto Kane now with Sekite, who has been independent but now has decided to be the rescue cousin, meaning she's on the rescue train firmly. That's about 13. And
that's 12.
That's 12. And there's 2 other senators who we're still talking with. And we are almost there. So with 12, 14 senators, trust me, we can shake that place. And one of the strategies is for us to go to session almost every time, especially on the very crucial issues. And when you have 14 senators in session on the rescue mission, the judge, we have people, most of them went for election, they will be in the country, then that way they will almost never get the number.
Thank you very much, Senator Dillon. Let's bring in Mo Ali, then we'll get to Gibson. Mo?
I forgot to name James Banning of Maryland County.
Banning. Yes, that's 13
Correct.
right there. You got 13.
Correct. Right.
Now 14, the man can count at 14. 12, oh, I got 14 yet.
Hey, my man, let's not go into that
All
argument.
right,
Senator,
you're right. You're right. The grass is blue. You're right. Go ahead, Mo Ali.
A glass, a yellow.
Senator, good evening.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for good evening and thank you for
Mo
coming.
Ali,
My first
may put
question.
vanish him on there. Mo Ali, may put you have vanish him on you today.
My man came out to Senator then I fly. We'll go on vanish him a long time. Senator, let's come back to the youth thing. There is a youth agriculture center at Bensonville or Bentall, whichever we will choose to call it. And I am aware that your committee had advised before for that place to either be revamped, rejuvenated, or something so that young people can benefit from it. Are you aware that the place is still abandoned, rejected, and even the generator that's there, the 13 kVA generator, is almost scrapped now? Are you aware of that?
I'm very much aware. When we started to share the light over this quote-unquote Zobo issue in the country, two things the government did to overshadow, as if to say we're looking for personal political glory. No. The first thing the government did was to run to Bombay County to break ground in the name of building a rehabilitation center. During that groundbreaking ceremony in early 2020, the Vice President of Liberia invited Senator Sal Joseph of Montserrado County and left out Senator Sandro Johnson and Maurice Toma, who are from that county. It was all politics. They don't want to take glory. Dylan Neem is all about this rehabilitation. We can't let him shine. So let's do something quick. The government quick to break ground, political ground for projects, and those projects almost never come to me. That is history. That project in Bombay is almost history because since it broke ground, I'm not too sure of any significant progress there. But when we kept pushing, then the Ministry of Youth and Sports made the case to Cabinet, and Cabinet endorsed the Ministry of Youth and Sports proposal and plans to use the youth center in Benton. And the government, the administration proposed $750,000 US in the budget for us to start to revamp the youth center in Benton to prepare it for the government facility for rehabilitation and mental health issues to start to take our people from the streets. That money was projected, it was approved. Every time we asked for that money, the minister said he didn't get it. The ministry did not get it. No budget performance report. We did not have the number to push these things on the floor for action and results. And so all of these things are on the table, and that is why we are excited with our growing number. Between now and July, before the legislature closes July 18 for the independence break, if this new number cannot achieve anything that can shake the country, like for instance, denying George Weah his recast budget in the absence of budget performance report and expenditure report for people to be held accountable, if this new number cannot hold grounds to hold off on George Weah's nominations to tenure positions, if this new number, we can't do anything substantial before we go for break, and George Weah managed to get any of these critical issues, then I don't know what we want to rescue. So that youth center issue was budgeted, the money was appropriated, if the budget was approved, printed into handbill, but no accountability and no action has been taken because especially the Senate did not have the number. Now that we have the number, these things are back on the table.
Go ahead, Mo. You are muted. Can you unmute and ask your second question?
Senator, you were counting senators that are in light of the elections coming. Maybe this is not a question, but I want to know. I know the ANC chair is from Bakulu.
Daniel Neten.
Yeah.
Daniel Neten is a fervent and reliable partner.
Okay.
Yes. Forget about whether he's on rescue train. He's not whether he's on rescue train or not. As chairman of ANC and an opposition senator, he has always 80-90% there with us. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me understand what they don't say now. I didn't get that. They don't. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, the politics one you want to jump in. Ho. You ready now?
No. Repeat, please.
No. I want to make it clear that whether he's on the rescue train or not, the fact that he's chairman of ANC, he has always demonstrated as such, largely as an opposition person, and has been voting along with us. He has been one of the very few. The day here with 4 or 5 or 6, Daniel Neten is 80-90% there.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
That rests your question, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Jerry Gibson.
Yes. Welcome, Senator Dillon. Long time no talk, no see.
GJ.
We have good old friends. Senator, first of all, before I even ask my question, how is it?
No, before you ask your question, what was my last story in your agenda?
I
know.
I didn't remember. It's been a long time.
Go ahead.
Hey, look, before I ask my question, how is this job of the senator? Is it hard or easy?
It should be a serious job. It is a serious job if we take it seriously. It is tedious. It is more like a policy making job. You gotta be a reformist. You have to have character and courage to say no when you should say no. That is why the Constitution protects you constitutionally within you.
Okay. So,
and
are there some instances where the decisions that you participated in that were made that you regretted at this point in time since you joined the Senate?
As a senator?
Is there any striking decision that you participated, that you made, that you voted for, and you believe that it was not supposed to be that way, but it happened anyways?
No, I have not voted and regretted my vote. I have taken some actions which I think if I had done the other way, we have stood up. For instance, the 30,000.
30,000.
The 30,000. When we received that money, and in keeping with my commitment to inform the public of everything we're doing there, even if it is from the budget, once the public got to know the information, they got angry because that budget line is clearly misunderstood. And even if you want to justify it, you make people angry more. The justification doesn't make sense to people because there's no way to account for that money because the system is not in place. I'm coming, Gibson.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I'm listening.
If I wanted to do a child rights law, and I contacted Councillor Lamin Pakor to draft me, use his legal intellect to draft me a law, a bill, and he charges me for his professional services.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That legislative engagement. The system is supposed to be in place for Councillor Lamin Pakor to build my office for the professional services, and then I forward his bill to the account department in the Senate, and they pay him, and it is drawn down on my 30,000. If I'm going to hold a town hall meeting the rental of the chairs for that town hall, the sound system, and all that stuff. The owner of the town hall, if it is not a public facility, even public facility like City Hall, you pay to use the City Hall. You pay, even though it's public facility. So if I were holding a town hall meeting and I had to pay for a town hall and rent chairs and sound system, the people that are renting the chairs or the sound system to me should bill me, and then I forward it to the accounts department and it's thrown down on that legislative engagement. If discretionary spending, I wanted to pay, help somebody with school fees, that government money, we should pay. If I say I want to pay Gibson Jerry school fees, all of my legislative engagement, discretionary spending, Gibson chooses the school bills my office sends a bill to the accounts department, and the accounts department pay to the school, and the school issue the official receipt, and it is drawn down on that tax. But the way it has been from time to time for years before I even became senator has been that the money will go directly to the lawmakers, and they can use it as they decide to. Now, since this kind of explanation still does not make sense to the public because they think every cent is needed elsewhere else, we made the case in session, in plenary, and plenary voted to remove that budget line from the Liberian Senate. At least that's progress. But if I had announced that 30,000 is available, but in protest of the way the 30,000 is spent and not explained and can be accounted for, I'm rejecting and refusing mine, maybe it will make sense. For me, as a senator, that is my greatest regret.
There was something you said about $6 million that you people allow, because if you didn't do that, the executive will give an excuse that they were supposed to do some increment, and you people allow it to happen. Is it not the same business as usual? That
I didn't get that. Who want an increment?
The $6 million that you people approved that is added in the budget, and you said,
right,
oh, we're not going to increase it. They were going to say, oh, we're going to top up your stuff, but the lawmaker refused. So I was thinking, does it not look like the same business as usual, where you let it pass because of for convenience? I mean,
no.
If people are stupid,
no, even though the politics mixed with it, nobody should be making less than 150 in this country, in keeping with the minimum wage law. So, and notwithstanding the politics that George Weah wanted for election issue, it's also right for us to right the wrong, no matter who is involved.
Okay. We'll turn it back to my brother. Is you are one of those who are very, very keen on this disadvantaged youth thing. You have gone and used substantial amount of money to help them, but it is still lingering in government. It's still lingering when it comes to the youth and sport minister. When have you ever caught it at any point in time that even though you are doing this, but the government is not doing anything? Have you raised the motion? Have you raised the issue in plenary and nobody's listening to you, or you just didn't raise it?
I got more than 30 Senate open plenary debates on this issue. More than 30 in my less than or almost 4 years of sitting as senator. I got more than 30. Not on platform like this alone, because they are plentiful. Not on my personal platform because they are accounted for, but in plenary with official communications as well. What has been happening is the administration, the regime doesn't have time for these people. The regime don't care. The regime just doesn't care. The regime wants to. The Minister of Youth and Sports said he has not received a dime from donor assistance. I'm sure he has not even received a dime of the money that was raised the day of the fundraiser. So the government uses the name the situation of our citizens, this population of our people, to steal from them, to rob them, even my own big sister, the vice president, because of the politics and the insensitivity of the government on the rehabilitation and drug issue, the vice president for politics even forgot that she launched the opening of the rehab facility that was there when she was in her politics. Senator Dillon, also of government money, has not done anything for the people of this county at all. She dedicated that facility. The Minister of Justice was there. The Minister of Youth and Sports was there. They all spoke, made official comments. The Minister of Health, Mental Health Department was appropriately represented. Our international partners from the World Health Organization and other NGOs related to health and mental health issues graced the occasion personally. So the government has a quote-unquote rescue model who rescues our quote-unquote Zoco citizens with money during election period. If the man's only desire is to get faster in your hand so you can satisfy his addiction and you give him 5,000, you are exacerbating his situation. You are worsening his situation. You have given him $5,000 and worth of his addiction. So for us, we are not giving them money. We are counseling them. We are detoxing them, and we are taking actions to return them, not just as recovered citizens from drugs and addiction, from substance abuse, but with some skills. As decent, productive citizens, we are building the future, not necessarily about hand pumps. Our role is not to do those. If we can do it, fine. But the government, let me repeat, that the Minister of Youth and Sports has officially informed the people, not in gossip, not something he can deny, because I know his courage not to want to deny what he says or does. He said it on the official government platform, another dime. The question is, where is the money that was even generated the day of the fundraiser? What are we doing? This man used the office of the president and sold his portrait, his photo, for $5,000 to business people, to people who let the bootleg him at City Hall, and generated $500,000 US in raw cash and pledges. And he came to Jamaica Resort. He never thought about doing rehabilitation. And the president has not even shown any righteous anger as to why his government lost $100 million cocaine case. The president has not even shown any righteous anger to replace prosecutors who dropped the ball. The president has not even had one question on the pulpit or at any platform. Why is it that the legislature has not landed the drug law on my desk for me to sign it? You think these people have time for our people suffering from addiction? They don't have, because it is my belief that they are colluding, they are conspiring, they are aiding and abetting, they are enhancing and facilitating the smuggling, importation, and trafficking of the drugs in our country. And if the people who trafficking, importing, producing, selling the drug, you think they have time for rehabilitation? No. And you think they have time to take preventive measures? If you prevent the importation or the availability of the drug, you will start to lessen the number of people who are on drugs.
Thank you, Senator Dillon. Thank you. Hold on, Gibson. Gibson, hold on. You not asked 3-4 questions. Chill a little bit. We'll come back to you. No, your one question went to 5. I don't know how we do that math. You asked 5 and you said I 1. But anyway, the grass is blue. Let's move on. We'll come back to you. So, Senator Dillon, let me ask you a question, though. You said the people. aiding and abetting. I want you to be specific. Are you talking about the people, the government?
But nobody can bring $100 million cocaine in the country and nobody is convicted. It's not possible. It's not possible. If you want that trial, you want to shed tears for the country. If you have the court record, the testimonies, the minutes of the court, you want to shed tears for the country. You will agree with me that my assumption or my thought and my belief that this thing is being facilitated by collusion, that the president has not even, it doesn't matter to him. It's like a cartel. Let me break it down. Scandal, Gibson, Fagon, let me, when I say Bako, I will say Chancellor. When I say Lamy, I'm talking to, I want us to flow together more. Anytime you see something of this magnitude, every time one person is around a crime scene, anytime something criminal happens, and that particular person is caught on the crime scene, that person must be connected to that crime somehow. You can't say Darius Dillon is a whistleblower. When every time laptop lost, it is found in Darius Dillon's bag. But Darius Dillon is not the one who opened his bag on his own and see laptop and say, oh, how the laptop got in my bag? You can't be a whistleblower of something that you did not alarm about, that to prove that you are not a part of it, or you don't know how it got there. But every time laptop get missing and they're looking for it, they find it in your bag. You can be a whistleblower. The court record shows that the Broker Association, the institution of folks who are authorized by law to clear containers from the port for vendors, they testify in court to the effect that this particular company, for some strange reason unknown to themselves as broker, for unanswered reasons, this particular company is most times giving special dispensation from inspecting their container. They just get waiver. When they bring their container, it lands, you clear it, no inspection.
Who gave that waiver?
That's the question we want the Justice Minister and the Ministry of Justice people to answer. And the reason the Senate has not commenced the hearing, even though the committee has been authorized to conduct the hearing, is because the Minister of Justice is not in country. The same reason why the Supreme Court fined the Minister of Justice and the Solicitor General, because he did not appear in court due to his absence from the country. Everywhere, serious institutions where, when these institutions of government summon you, not invite, because an invitation is the discretion of the invitee to honor the invitation or not. But if a governance institution, like the court, like the legislature, cite or summon you, you got no excuse unless it is materially justified. But when the people know nothing can happen to them, even if you summon them and they find any kind of excuse, then they all so we are waiting for the Minister of Justice so he can appear before us to answer questions. Where was he doing this trial? In keeping with the act creating the Minister of Justice, it says the Minister of Justice is and they also the Attorney General of the Republic. All government prosecutions are under his direction, supervision, and control. And whenever he feels that government is vested in a matter, he will personally appear in court to prosecute. The Minister of Justice absence from this trial from day one to the conclusion, his absence did not say that the government was serious about this case. It did not say that the government was vested in this case. Simply because I believe there's a cartel.
The special
running
interest
this case.
that gave them way to clear certain containers. We'll get back to that, Dylan, because we're running on time. Let's move on to other issue. Thank you very much. And whenever we can, we'll wait for the Minister of Justice to appear before you guys. Let me change this conversation tonight, Dylan. Let's get to the raw politics. What is happening now in Liberia with less than 4 weeks to go before we get to October 10th? Dylan, you were on the show the other day, and you promised the Liberian people that you were going to say something concerning Madam Salif, your meeting you had with Madam Salif. You promised the Liberian. 2 days later, Madam Salif tweeted, and we have the tweet. And we've been waiting for you patiently, because the songwriter said, "I will wait patiently, 'cause time is the best time." So we've been waiting patiently for you, and here you are. What meeting were you trying to discuss concerning you and others? That's my first question. When you guys went to Madam Salif or spoke to Madam Salif by way of the phone, what were you involving Madam Salif concerning your meeting? Can you please tell us?
Well, I met with Madam Salif because this phone network gave, you went on seminars in that meeting. This network seminars that meeting and gave all the insinuations and the spin doctoring. When Vice President Joseph Boakai, the standard bearer of UP, did not name Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence, whom we all supported and have hoped that she would have been named, other contending parties, contesting parties, thought it was an opening to seek the political hand of Senator Lawrence as their running mate. We had Councillor Gonglo making an offer. We had Mr. Alexander Cummings and his team driving to Grand Bassa County to make said offer. And along the way, while we were consulting, I got a call to meet with Madam Salif, and we had a meeting. Her and I for about 30 minutes, and then later joined by Mr. Cummings and Musa Belete. And the meat of it is that there was a proposal for Cummings to select Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence. The deal did not go through, and we are where we are. Madam Salif supports Ellis Cummings, and it is her right. Ellis Cummings is taking instruction from Madam Salif and Musa Belete. I can say that clearly. And whatever ticket that they have, it is the instruction and advice of Ellen Johnson Salif. I didn't want to be a part of it. We did not want to be a part of it, and we are not a part of it, and deal closed, period.
Okay, but let's set something in place. Forgive me if I'm going in too deep on this one. A phone call came from Madam Salif to you. Was that an in-person meeting? You called him Belete name, Cummings, Senator Lawrence, and yourself. Madam Salif make that 5. Were they a sit-down meeting to discuss? Okay, can you help me? Help me. Let me understand, sir.
No, you understood. You just like to do your own thing.
That's what I do because I need to understand better. Please forgive me.
I had a meeting on the call of Madam Salif. We had one-on-one for like 30 minutes. And as a national leader, I will agree with Costa. Man can talk all, But the meat of the discussion was to get my endorsement and our team's endorsement to get Senator Lawrence to consent running as running mate to Cummings. And Mr. Cummings and Musa Bedete came and joined the meeting. And I made some commitments in that meeting predicated upon SYZ. I made some conditional commitments in that meeting. And when I saw thereafter no good faith, courageous commitment following up, I cut it off. And that was the end of it.
So, Dylan, maybe you think I understand you well. You say you received a call. Was it a phone conversation meeting or was it a sit-down meeting? When you said Bedete and Cummings joined the meeting, did it join by way of a phone or did it join in person? That's my question I was asking you.
In person.
Thank you. So now you guys had a meeting in person. Now, I'm not going to force you to go ahead. Let me give the other strands just on this meeting issue, and then we can move on. So, Honorable Fagon, please.
What you can me ask him, Maggie? Because if I was to ask you any question, you were able to sit down face to face with Madam Sirleaf, Musa Bedete, Cummings. And according to you, you got the impression that Madam Sirleaf is supporting Cummings. She's calling the shots. She's doing everything Cummings related. Now, as a member of the rescue team, are you afraid that Madam Sirleaf's global influence could change the dynamics of our political arena? Speaking as a politician.
No. The global international community will always accept what the majority of the people want in a democracy.
Second question to you. You made it clear, and it's an open secret anyways. Do you think Madam Sirleaf will go the extra mile to ensure that JMB does not become the next president? Do you foresee that happening?
Unless we don't vote. Unless we don't vote in majority, unless we don't recruit poll watchers, unless we don't mind our ballot, Madam Sirleaf, and like any other person. Look, George Weah is sitting as president. He vowed that as long as he's president, people at Dallas Dillon can never be elected senator.
Right.
Especially of the county that matter most to George Weah and his party. He's sitting as president and we put him twice in the very county. Maybe if we didn't have to vote to win, George Weah was going to come across as being too strong that if he want you elected, you can be elected. But all power is inherent in the people. It is the people that institute government for their happiness, for their safety, their benefit, and their well-being. And when the people speak in the majority, no one person has an influence to alter it. We man our ballot, the people will vote, will protect their ballot, will make sure that every ballot is counted rightly. Our poll watchers will be trained enough to know where to sign, why not to sign, if there's issues, for us to win.
Let me ask you this quick last question.
Yeah,
last
go
question.
ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
The question is not whether you will deliver Monserrato. I'm confident you will.
I'm not talking about Monserrato. I will give you an instance where even a certain president with other influence.
It has nothing to do with that. My question is not whether you will deliver Monserrato in this coming October 10 election. My question is how well in terms of percentage do you think? How much in terms of percentage? Can you deliver 70%, 80% of Maserati to JMB? You are very popular.
Maserati County will be delivered not on account of Darius Dillon. Maserati County and the country will be delivered because the people want change. They want to be rescued. Maserati County will vote Joseph Boakai over 70%. Maserati County. Not because of Darius Dillon, even though with Darius Dillon, but not because of Darius Dillon. It's because the people want Joseph Boakai. The people want nothing to do with George Weah after October 10th. The people want a government that will announce the audit of the George Weah government and hold people accountable. The people want a government that will stand firm and fight and push for the establishment of a war and economic crimes court. The people want feel the impact of their resources. That's why the people of Maserati County will vote, not because of Dillon, but with Dillon for the rescue mission across the country.
Senator Dillon, before we move down to the rest of the guys, real quick though, what about the invite, the conversation that put a chill in your spine that you said, you talk to your colleague, your sister Youngblee, you know, and say, I don't think we should go this Cummings way. What about that conversation? What were in the now that twofold? Let me ask you this: the first one, the second one. We heard that Madame Salif said she was no more into the day-to-day politics when it comes to Liberia. Now you are telling us that she's convincing, asking Senator Youngblee that you guys can work along with Mr. Cummings. That Senator Youngblee should be the vice standard bearer to Mr. Cummings. Is she now back into the political life of Liberia? And what about the conversation that scared you so much? You did on that, I know, that you had to run for your life and say, hell no, I'm taking my sister Youngblee with me.
No, it was not fear. The period after Joseph Nima Boakai announced Jeremiah Kun as rescue tool, that 2 to 3 week period was an opportunity of a lot of eye-opening as to what's happening to the democracy of our country, who's hijacking what, and including what has been happening to our party, the Liberty Party. And I was not going to be a part of rewarding anybody like our Liberty Party in Shamo. And I will stop there.
Let me bring in the rest, but you didn't answer my second question though. Is Madame Salif now moving lively into the Liberian politics? Is she back on course?
Well, I think she's at Fish Market. You can send Damon in there to ask.
Based on the conversation you had with her, you think she playing the political game now in Liberia? Is that what you're telling us tonight, Dito?
I said I met with Madame Salif on her request, and she proposed a ticket for 2023. Eventually, that ticket, that proposal did not hold, and we cut the conversation off. And I can say that much.
Let me say this. Well, Madame Salif tweeted this. She said, I feel proud and hope for our continent to see, I wish Senator Dillon the best in his political endeavor. I hope he will continue to expose those democratic principles of freedom of expression and choice. Speak to us about this tweet concerning you from Madame Salif, the former president of the Republic of Liberia. Were you afraid seeing this tweet because you announced, well, I met Madame Salif, I will be back. Now you are back telling us that she asked you to bring in Youngblee as the stand-up bearer to Cummings. This is her tweet. What do you have to say about this tweet, Dito?
I thank her for it. I appreciate it. And I respect the wordings in the tweet. And I respect her right to freedom of expression and choice. Madam Salim is simply saying that, sure you must. I got my own choice to make too, and you must respect it. But all it says that, you know how they open our older people, that our parents know how to, in a subtle way, tell you to shut up, eh? That thing was only meant to say, you go, that thing won't go tell you better shut up. So I respect that. Our right to express, our right to choose should be respected. Everybody has that right.
Wacom is going for his own Vice Standard Bureau, VSB.
We need to ask questions.
Yeah, you ask that question, man, because I will have one-on-one stuff.
Senator, let me ask a question.
More is not you, it's Councilor, but he left, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, the mayor ran away.
He left. Go ahead.
Senator, I'm not going to go into that Madam Salif thing. I think that Madam Salif is no longer in our politics. She's now contesting. Joseph Boakai is contesting. President Weah is contesting. I'm going to ask you, if you were one of those leading the campaign, what do you think would be one of the cardinal campaign messages that you would share to the Liberian people?
The people have crafted their message. They want rescue. We need to give the people hope, credible hope of things to come and things that we must do. We have to create the environment in this country where dignity will be restored to our people, where we build the credibility of governance, institutions, and structures. We will have to get, look, if we do not start on accountability, if Joseph Boakai even wins and cannot even declare his asset and publish it before taking office, we opt for another wasted 6 years, and within 2 years, the people will be wishing that Joseph Boakai was not elected. If we cannot commit to our people and uphold the commitment to fight for the establishment of a war and economic crimes court, to prosecute people for bad behavior, or to afford people the opportunity to vindicate themselves from allegations hovering or hanging over them all their lives, we have also failed. If we cannot create the environment that will provide jobs for our people, so that when our people go to school, get quality education, the degrees or whatever certificate hanging on the wall cannot be there forever, but no jobs to justify their education, their labor to get educated. Our message cannot be the same, and our action cannot be the same, and expect that the people will be excited. We hope that things coming to change. We must start to demonstrate it. That is why I said, those of us on the rescue train, as we build the block and the number in the legislature, and by way, all senators on the rescue mission will be meeting with Joseph Nyeama Boakai on Monday. There's a proposal for a meeting. We'll meet with Ambassador Boakai, and he will start to give us a direction on his guidance as to how to vote for what as a block in the Senate. And even if in the House, the number is not there, once you are a rescue representative, vote. Let the record care that you vote, but you did not have the number. And then we will do the rest in the Senate when it comes to concurrence. Like the government wants to do financing and loan agreements, piling up the debt portfolio, debt burden of the country, and no impact of what we have been crediting, borrowing. It's time to account. It's time to stop the bleeding. The whole thing, Chakla, it's time to rescue it. We use Gongro broom to sweep it, the debris out of the place, and then we put our country on course. Our message should be one of honesty. It must be realistic. It must be something that is doable and that we can do and that we must do. The issue of justice, impunity is eluding the progress of our country.
All right, Senator. My second question is, today we were at District 13 and Senator Kuhn, who is the rescue tool, spoke something. He said the reason why the US rate is climbing because the Senate, the legislature gave they passed the law for the printing of $48 billion LD in order to replace the old legacy note, and that this money, around 30-something billion, has been printed. But now the managers taking it out from the bank and dividing it. Is there any plan for the Senate to call the central bank to begin to account for what was printed? Because I too believe that that money they're putting out, adding up to the old money, is increasing the inflation rate or the US rate. Is there any plan from the Senate? Do you plan, at least now you all get some number that can make some serious inroad in the Senate? Do you people plan to raise this issue?
Last week, I raised this issue in the Senate, as I have been raising it for months. The Senate finally took a decision to summon the central bank, and the central bank was summoned and appeared on Thursday, the day before yesterday. Because of the security sensitive nature of the currency and surrounding the printing and all that stuff, we resolved in executive session because the central bank wanted us to get more detailed information. And what I can say is that, and I think the central bank is about to put up a bulletin to that in that regard, that the money that has been printed and in country is more than the legacy, the old money that they wanted to replace. So the cutoff point, like deadline for using any of the old money in this country will be March 31, 2024. By March 31, 2024, there will be no more use of the old money, what the book people call legacy banknote. Whether that the Charles Taylor money, whether that the Erling Under money, once it is not the new money that has been printed under the $48 billion, March 31 should be the cutoff point. But central bank, as the official authority, I think they have started to make the pronouncement or announcement, public awareness. And if they have not done so, we should expect the central bank to start to do so soon. But on my call, on my insistence, backed by our colleagues, the central bank was summoned, and they came on Thursday, which was day before yesterday, and we had some brainstorming interaction, questions and answers, and we got more detail. And the two key things we wanted the public need to know is that there are more money of the new money printed than what was in the entire internal economy from the old money. So there is no reason why the old money is still being interchangeably exchanged on the market with the new money. So the central bank has said, as of March 31, there will be no more, the old money will not be legal tender in Liberia, and they will establish and develop more means by which.
March 31, you mean March 31, 2024, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. March 31, 2024. The old money will not be used in Liberia any longer. If you still have been having it in your cash box or under your mattress, by March 31, 2024, the money won't be used on legal tender in Liberia. Another concern that we had, and we insisted that the central bank should go and see about it, is that if you have more money, new family banknotes printed, there is no justification for the commercial banks to still be issuing out the old money when you go to transact business. The central bank is supposed to already supply the commercial banks with the new money. So even if you want to bank the old money and later you want to withdraw, they should never give you the old money again. Anytime you go to any commercial bank to do withdrawal, it should always be the new money, the new family. But the commercial banks take care of old money, including mutilated money, that when you even take back to the bank can refuse and say they're not taking this other mutilated money. And it's short-changing our people. And so that is why we intervened, and we have gotten some definitive answers. And
thank you, Senator.
We look forward. Yeah.
Let me bring in the Gonglo boys, the Gonglo men. Let me bring it them. We'll start with Councillor Gonglo Bako. Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Laming Bako. I beg, please.
So, Mr. Senator, I mean, initially I thought that it wasn't necessary for me to discuss, I mean, your inner political issues, even though I'm one of the people who actually is a founding member of the Liberty Party, so I should be interested in what's happening there.
Yeah. Right.
And you said some very interesting things. You said, you know, rescue the country and use a Gonglo broom to clean it up. But why not just use a Gonglo broom to rescue and clean it up once and for all? Why do it in compartments? I can't really understand why. It seems like you understand and you like the Gonglo vision, but for some reasons you don't want to join the vision of cleaning up this country using a better Liberia agenda. I don't know why. The decision is yours to decide. But there's a particular question that many of the people who have appeared on this show to support the Unity Party have failed to answer. And I will assume that you have an answer to this question for your deliberation. Why do you support the UP? And do you also believe that you need to rescue country before you can have a plan for fixing the country? I mean, those two things that you have a plan before you go about seeking office? Because some of the other people have come and said the only thing you need to do is to just take the country first before you start thinking about what you do with it. So do you believe the same thing? And why do you support this plan? Even though it seems like you support the Gonglo vision from all that you're saying, anti-corruption, accountability for war crimes and all of that and stuff. You support it, so I don't understand. So let us know, why do you support the other people, and do you believe whether you need to rescue the country first before you do anything about it?
So I believe Joseph Boakai is best suited. He's best suited not just because there is a huge probability about winning. I am supporting Joseph Boakai because of his vision that he has demonstrated to me, and in keeping with his arrest platform. I'm not one of those who supported Joseph Boakai because he may have the number or assume to have the number. Joseph Boakai has convinced me that he is one for accountability. He wants to rescue the country so that in keeping with his plans, we can put our economy back on track. We can build our governance institutions and infrastructure. We can put into place measures that will hold people accountable for bad behavior in government and even in the private sector who violate the law. And all of this. So people who say, oh, let's just rescue the country because Boakai have the number, it is their reason for supporting him. My reason for supporting Joseph Boakai is first the content of his personal character, which he has not demonstrated to me to the contrary before. I have said, we look for people with integrity. I always admire Councillor Gonglo as he admires me as well. Gonglo would have been as second choice if Bouaga was not in the race. But if you put in Bouaga and Gonglo on the pedestal together in terms of preparedness, experience, or the vision to make things happy, I would take Bouaga over Gonglo. Does it mean that Gonglo doesn't have the vision? It doesn't have the wherewithal? It does.
All right, we're not hearing you, Councillor. Can you unmute, please?
My last question, Senator. Do you think the abyss, the hole, let me be very simple, the hole that the CDC have put us in, that they dug for us and put the country in, what's your prognosis? How do you think, how long you think it will take also dig ourselves out of that hole, get on a level plane before start going upward? Do you think it's a short-term agenda or it's a long-term agenda? What do you think?
No, it is troubling. The hole is deep, and you don't know how deep the hole is unless you take them from there. If you keep them there, it will get even deeper, worse, and almost irredeemable. So the country itself, and you know, I made a statement one time. George Weah inherited a messy education sector. True. George Weah inherited a not so strong health sector. True. George Weah inherited small light. True. To blame George Weah for what he inherited will be unfair. But the worst thing about it is that everything has worsened under George Weah. So even the place he met everything, nothing is still at that level. Everything has drastically declined. Everything. Let it be common thing. Intermingling, where all citizens, whether you're opposition or from the ruling party, could intermingle, could have civil discussion, could socialize. George Weah has significantly divided the country. The country is hugely divided. If you call President Weah and members of the gang, they will tell you the quality of the education sector has improved because they're paying vast fees. Even in the quote-unquote third grade that people say are stopped, and I like to say it. Anybody will tell you that because they pay your school fee or your exam fee in a system that no quality in means they have upgraded the sector, something must be wrong with that person. So, and you see the court system, the judicial system of our country has declined. After the kangaroo removal of a Supreme Court justice, you made timid most of the other lower judges. A classic case is after the kangaroo political removal, unconstitutional removal of Kabina Janet from the Supreme Court, Henry Costa had a case at the magisterial level with his radio station and the government. The magistrate who had the courage to rule in favor of Henry Costa was transferred from that court the same evening by the president. The same evening by the president of Liberia. So that message to the succeeding magistrate presiding over that same Henry Costa case was to say, if you try it, your own that transfer will sack you because the president can sack magistrates at pleasure. Only judges and people on the Supreme Court bench, the president can sack but by impeachment. Even at that, they got Kabina Jana impeached. The judicial system of our country is timid. We need a leadership that will restore hope, that will restore the vibrancy, the independence, the true independence of the judiciary. If you don't have a reliable, credible judiciary, you can't have investors. Your economy will decline because every time the investor feels cheated, he wants to seek justice, and if justice cannot be served, delivered, because the people who duping you are the powerful politicians who can intimidate the judges, that investor, if he experiences that bad omen, when he leaves, there's a network that he has probably. If his network of people asking, you were in Liberia, how is the climate? You think he's going to give any positive recommendation? And every time the network like that spreads the news, your economy goes into decline. You want to talk about health sector? The president of Liberia finds it a pleasurable thing to call himself the best president ever in the history of Liberia since the founding. When this president can go dedicate a dialysis machine as a success story, when this president can go dedicate the bringing in of one container of wheelchair, are we serious? This country is in deep evil right now. The economy, without me being an economist, the economy is almost in recession. The government itself is afraid to issue government checks to central bank because it's bouncing. Goods and services, people who providing contracts or goods and services to government can get paid. The rate is in a free fall. Every day is $1 or $2 added on the rate. The Liberian dollar in depreciation against the US dollar. The government is only looking for money to pay salary. Every other thing is down. The country is in a free fall. It needs rescue immediately. And that's what we'll continue to try to do.
Thank you very much, Senator DeLong. Let's bring in Gibson.
Well, Mr. Senator, the question was how long
we'll get back to you.
Councilor,
we'll get back to you. Gibson, can you ask your question, please?
Thank you very much, Senator DeLong. You have spoken extensively on some of the issues. I really do appreciate your explanation. I'm wondering that the meeting you had with the LRA people, the LRA representative that sat before you, they didn't seem to even know how much these people owe. Have you been able to nail down specifically how much each of these petroleum importers owe, so that you, as a senator, that you have this information available for you?
Yeah, we are going by the LRA record. In fact, this special committee constituted by the President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate regarding the road fund will be making initial report to the Senate next week. We have already done a draft. We'll conclude it on Monday to ensure that it is on the agenda for Tuesday.
Can you give us
our initial report? But what I can say, LRA official document submitted to the committee says that these companies are in arrears or non-performance in payment in millions of dollars. Thankfully, Councilor Paco is here as the lawyer. The rule of evidence or burden of proof, as is generally said, which is true, that he who alleges a fact has the burden to prove it. But you see, it's just as somebody saying John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and it started there. They should conclude that whosoever believeth in him shall not die but have everlasting life. The burden of proof, which is the responsibility of one who is accusing, can also be shifted to you who are being accused in a situation where the arraignment contains an allegation. If it is negative toward you and it is within your domain to prove otherwise, the burden of proof can be shifted. For instance, I'm renting from Gibson Jeru, and Jeru said, Dylan, you have not paid my rent for 3 months. And I said, I have paid. And Gibson said, no, you have not paid. So is Gibson accusing me for not paying his rent, right? But we should prove that they have paid their rent. Am I Dylan?
Yeah.
The burden of proof has been simply shifted to Dylan to prove that he's paid his rent, either by receipt or by proving either by witnesses the means by which the rent was paid without obtaining receipt. In the case of the road fund, LRA, which is the official institution of government, says company AOs or have not paid all the road fund money that were collected by the company, has not paid about $4 million of that money since 2018. LRA is officially insisting it is so. The company is saying no, we pay. So we say, okay, LRA, if the company say they pay, then show you how they pay and you bring it to us. And the reason maybe the company that insisting that it has paid off but can't prove that it has paid, maybe the manner of payment and the manner of the obtaining of the kind of document that the government file, maybe if they put it out, hell will break loose. So we're waiting.
Okay.
And we act, we do everything to compel compliance. The road fund money that we're talking about is not the fees you pay when you bring gas today. It's the money you collected and was keeping for government by the arrangement at the time. You already collected the money. The only reason why it was not turned over because there was some controversy about the collection. Once that controversy was cleared and stipulation was made, irrevocable payment stipulations were made, the fact that you neglected, defaulted to pay, there's either some collusion someplace for which that money has not been paid over 2-3 years since they should have been paid. There's either some fraudulent act going on. That's why we are digging deeper and to ensure compliance to the payment of that money, or else the appropriate steps through the Ministry of Justice will be taken to bring criminal suit against those who have that road fund money.
I will move on to a question that when you come, we don't want to miss any opportunity to hear from you because you have followers. And the question here has to do with your choice of JMB. I know several times the House, the Senate have called Councillor Gonglo as an expert to advise you people, even the 30,000 you talk about, to tell them not to do it. I've never heard JMB doing that yet. If you have anything, I would like to know. But here is the question. You claim that JMB can change the trajectory of the country economy. JMB, you were $3,300 richer than JMB when he came to government. JMB said he's been living in debt. He cannot even pay, he cannot even manage his own personal resources to the point that he lived in debt. How can a man who cannot even salvage his own financial situation salvage the country's financial situation? And as we speak now, JMB is presiding over a party that is indebted to people. And he is still, you say he can manage the country debt. I'm a little bit confused because you were $3 rich when you entered in government, but he is broke like church or rat. How can he manage? He cannot manage the country when he cannot manage himself.
Kevin, you're sounding like most of all the ordinary Liberians who can look at former government official and how you call it, belabor them, no, and just dismiss them as being stupid because they didn't make themselves in government. No, I said how you sounding. No, I said how you sounding. You trying to present a situation that Joseph Boyka was saying your vice president is how to be so rich, no matter how. But Chief, let me answer now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. You're trying to present the case in a way that makes Joseph Boyka that he have millions for himself and he mismanaged them, so he living on credit or loan. But that's a very same reason why the country it is the way it is. Let me put up one picture with Dylan building one mansion. That would be plenty like. Let me just put one structure up just now and put a picture up and splash it in the faces of the people. The people who will praise that house with no regard for the source of the income. You won't believe it, and you expect a country to change. We hate people with honesty. We vilify them. We resent them. We don't motivate more of such people. We look at their bank account rather than the content of their character. That's what got the country the way it is. I'm supporting Joseph Boyka because of the content of his character. Councillor Bronski, Charles Walker Bronski used to tell us, when you see old man stealing, he started stealing the time he was old. He started from the time he was young. They say you can't teach old dog new trick. The fact that Joseph Boyka has demonstrated that from young boy time to old man now, no stealing better in your life, when putting over the resources of our country, he won't steal it. But he will be straight in ensuring that the resources will be managed and distributed in a way that it will benefit the country. And those are some of the reasons why I'm supporting Joseph Boyka.
Let me do a follow-up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We come back. We got to do one question. I beg you, sir, please. It's 11 o'clock in Liberia. We cannot have the Senate. You're the Gongo guys, then quick to ask 4-5 questions. Be very fast, please. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Councillor, first of all, I didn't go there as a accusing government official they should steal and then bring their millions out of government. But Councillor Gongo was in government. He left government. He runs his own law firm. There are other people who were in government. They little pay the guy.
That question there again on that story.
Hold on. How come Joseph Boyka, he was a little money that he make? How is he not imparting anybody at all? No business, no legacy to show, and we claim that he is clean. How is he not managing those things?
So maybe you haven't heard about the Boyka Foundation.
No, he haven't heard about that.
You haven't heard about the Boyka Foundation. Most of the time, by the time you ask anybody, what do you not do for the people of the country? Everybody can run to pay school fees, so I'm not going to call that one. You have heard about the Boyka Charitable Foundation, the book that he gave it free to counties for people to generate resources for their districts and the counties to help developments in Riverses, in Grand Bassa, in Bong, between Bapolo and Bong County. Maybe you haven't heard about those. And he's not taking reward in terms of dollars and cents. It is humanitarian. In the case of Councillor Gongo, after government job, being a lawyer, he opened a law firm, and there are places, times where he represents people free of charge. There are times where he charges people, so he making his money. In the case of Boyka, he's content with helping from his foundation. But maybe the foundation is not one that generates fat bank account, so it appears like he get everything himself. When somebody said they living on loan, does that mean that they're poor? You know how many times why it needs Donald Trump not talk about taking credit from the bank?
Listen, you always use other people's money, period. That's the best thing in business. But the Lord, before we get to Fagondel, It's 11 o'clock in Liberia, 2 after 11. We'll always appreciate you coming on the Spoon Talk. Let's just move on with other conversation, general conversation. The way forward for this election, DeLon, we're looking at peaceful, free and fair election. Are you foreseeing such? You think it will be peaceful? Do you think it will be free and fair, DeLon?
We all should ensure and do everything to ensure a peaceful environment for peaceful election. Everybody seems to be too sure of winning. Everybody is doing everything politically possible to win, understandably. One thing we all should seek to ensure is a peaceful environment for peaceful elections. Will it be a clean process? I don't think so. I see slanders, I see mud slinging, I see brothers going against brothers, I see huge division, I see a lot of stuff. From the governance aspect, the credibility of the election commission is at stake. The only thing I don't buy into, the unsubstantiated whining and cries, especially from us in opposition on every little thing. For instance, doing voter registration. By the time they announce voter registration, opposition is the first to ask for extension. Go and register first. All the time too short. Then you go to the voting place and system is down. Or they do this so plenty of opposition can register. But when the system down, do you see them registering CDCs only and deny you from opposition in the name of system down? We do too much whining and crying sometimes. That does not make sense. Make us look like we know we may be or could be defeated, and we're crying early. I don't go for those stuff. I go for preparing pool washers, putting the necessary things in place, the messaging, the strategy, and go for your votes, mind your votes. The government can do anything otherwise. And without attempting to speak for the National Elections Commission, and not to say that somebody in there or is not very possible, Election Commission head office can change the result of election. Election Commission head office can only announce the official result. Once you go for election and you have poll watchers in every room, nobody can cheat you because the result is posted. If you are first in the room, you get one of the official paper. If you are second in the room, you get a second official paper. If you are 10 and below, you get a result from on the bulletin, posted right at the center. When you have, if you have all of your tally sheets, Election Commission can change it, especially all of your tally sheets signed by your poll watchers. If your poll watcher sign tally sheet and you say you have issue in a poll watching room, in a polling room, the law is, the regulation is, if your poll watcher is there and sign on the tally sheet, it means they agree with what was counted there. If they don't agree, they should refuse to sign and order and ask the magistrate there or the election officer for the slip, complete slip, to fill out that form, to say I have issue with this result in this room, and don't sign the record of count. So we're looking forward, hopeful that the election will be peaceful. But this gang I see here that have acquired and accumulated and amassed wealth that they will probably never have seen in their lifetime if this opportunity to loot this country was not provided. They don't seem to want to go down easily. And unless the people in the majority speak loud with their vote against them, there's a potential, there's a tendency, there's a likelihood for them to want to try something. But they will meet up with us and the Liberian people.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Senator Abraham Darius DeLon. Guys, you have one question each. The senator got to take his rest. We'll start with the Honorable Minister Eugene Lamin Fagon.
Yeah. Before I ask my question, I'll take 30 seconds from my question just to correct something. As recent as about 6-7 days ago, Joe Parker in Tottenham provided a water system for the community college. He also provided a water system for an orphanage there, totaling almost $16,000. You as a journalist can check this out. I will not go way back. I'm just telling you a few days ago. Also, it's important that we correct. And I'm saying this to praise Gonglo because Gonglo people always come here and say, you know, he did pro bono, you know, he don't have money. I want to say, when Musa Belete came on this platform, he provided a document to Stanton that he had paid government money. Thankfully, Stanton is here as a witness. When the people went before the Senate, they said it was a lie. Thank you. You brought a document to say either requested, but that was 3 years ago. But we never saw a document to say that this was the response. Again, these people do not have money because they are not criminals. But the little they have over the coming months, I guarantee you, you will see what they did with it. I have a dossier to present to you of itemized projects, and you will see it with your own eyes, video as well as audio. To Honorable Dillon, let me ask you this. You told us here that Monday you will make preliminary reports on the monies owed to the LRA, or if you like, call it road fund. You are aware that Pelete did not only insult us, but you in particular was insulted over and over. You are going to present a preliminary report. What we as Liberians need to know is that Belete said he paid. He down to 400. LRA said Belete have not paid a dime. Your function is lawmaking, oversight, and representation. The Senate has the right. You have called LRA. They say they have not paid anything. Are you going to commission a committee to at least inform, not a committee, but to write a letter or whatever you have to do in the legislature to ensure that there is an investigation to establish? I know you will say there's a court system. No, but you have a quasi-judicial system. You also have the right to probe. You have the right to probe. Therefore, you are calling the rice company and Tina. The company too can be invited along with the people, not Pelete, but Shimex. So again, are you prepared to tell us where our money is? That's the question.
They will tell us, and LRA has told us by document that these companies have neglected to pay. LRA is on record at the hearing, admitting that they dropped the ball on enforcing the collection. If a company says that it has paid,
are you frozen?
I think internet problem.
Yep.
You know, Stanton, let me just say this quickly. Stanton, the money we're talking
about,
the fact.
Are we okay?
Yeah, Delon, we are hearing you. You back on. Go ahead. You back. Thank you.
The company. What's the name of the company?
Delon, you
okay,
back.
so
you back.
I think I went up.
You. Yeah.
As a senator, I don't want the discussion to appear like it's targeted, because Connect and other importers have to roll for money. The only thing about, I made it a conscious decision to leave Musa he crying too much to justify his deeds. And I think he feels good when he's talking about me. It makes him look like he's a big guy in coming PP politically. But as a senator, I'm concerned about the road fund money because it's part of the budget. Whether it is Sumet, whether it is Connect, whether it is Aminata, whether it is Petro, whether it is MP, I have a duty as a senator, and we as a body have a duty to ensure the collection of that money. And that committee, I'm coming, sir, and the committee is doing just that. What we will not do, we will do everything not to go beyond the scope of our authority and our function. The institution of government responsible to collect money say you won't pay. You want me to believe the company that I say pay, but you only run around with letter? Letter is no demonstration of payment. Evidence of payment is clear. Show all your flag receipt, the manner of payment, whether it was by manager check, and all of this stuff. Take them to LRA and let LRA come and tell us we have verified and there's proof that this company is paid. And then we go in the consolidated account and see whether money was deposited or collected. On that.
Senator, all due respect, yes, I repeat, this is not taxes. This is money we pay. This was our money. Somebody stole our money and you people making it appear as if LRA neglected to collect the money. No. Yeah,
LRA neglected. No, sir. LRA neglected and failed to do its work because in September, I listened to Musa. You know, I didn't want to even mention Musa's name. He feels good when you measure his name. He's worrying about his seat in Nima, and I don't want to give him discomfort. The people in Nima are not desperate with decide with Musa. But here's the thing. In September 2018, a stipulation was entered into between the government of Liberia and these importers, each of them independently, represented by the LRA. Before 2018, LRA was not in charge of collecting road fund. LRA was placed in charge of collecting road fund 2018 when the memorandum of understanding, the irrevocable stipulation for payment was entered into between the government and these importers. You understand? Then LRA was now placed in charge. So the money, Sunet, Connex, and other companies have been collecting from 2016 up to 2018. It's time for you to turn it over. And LRA will do the collection by this means. And a stipulation was entered into. And by the stipulation plan, the full payment should have been made, done, and completed more than 3 years ago. That LRA has not collected and concluded the collection of that money. Either was neglect or a collusion or some conspiracy. LRA said they can admit that they were lazy. They didn't want to take my word about neglect and failure. They said they were lazy in enforcing that instrument. We are now insisting that instrument must be enforced so that the money that these importers having storage tank already collected from the government, keeping it until a certain system was put in place. Turn the money over. You already collected it. You are only keeping it because system was still being put in place. The system had been put in place. Turn the money over. They say, no, I swear to God, I can't pay all the money now because I thought I was holding it. I thought I was not taxes, so I thought I was not going to pay it. So, you know, all this stuff. We are saying these institutions, these importers will pay that money. If you say you are paid, demonstrate it. LRA is waiting for you to show proof that you are paid. And the manner of payment is to do deposits and obtain flag receipt Those flag receipts will be investigated to authenticate whether they are genuine, whether it is the official flag receipt, or whether it's World Trade Center, or whether there was collusion by some people in there for some reason for which the money was not collected. That money will be collected, or people will go to jail for it.
Thank you very much, Senator Delon.
That money will be collected, or people will go to jail.
Senator
They will be prosecuted.
It's always nice having you, sir. Due to time, we cannot take questions, but can you give us your parting comment as we move on to close the show? It's always good having this kind of discussion. Thank you for coming on Spoon tonight, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Stanton. Lami, I know you work hard for your education and you did everything to become a lawyer. So I think it's fair in the public manner to say Councilor Parkour, recognize your search. Gibson, Jerry, and I have known one another for a very, very long time. Opa, he grew up in my hand, so he grew up in my hand behind MTA there. If you don't know who I'm calling Opa, that's Stanton or Peking. Yeah, older brother, Jeremiah and Isaac. Isaac and I were interviewed at West Heston together from behind MTA there, and we move on together. So Opa, small brother Peking. Casapreco, we used to clash. That man say I integrate. He don't want to say I integrate. Then one day he asked me for my WIAC paper. I said, you see, you know nothing about education. Tell you I can take WIAC. But no, I say so that you say so. That you say so. Yeah, Mo Ali, a friend, brother, a very trusted ally. I want to thank the people of Liberia who took the time to follow tonight, home and abroad, wherever you are. Thank you, Witherspoon, for affording us yet another opportunity to be heard. Most times people say, Dylan, since we elected you, can you imagine? Since we elected you, we can't hear you this time. Maybe because people used to one radio station, one show, if they hear you on it, they say, you know, shut up for life. And Spoon has sanction on me for 1 year.
No.
I want to thank you, Witherspoon, and all of you. You guys are doing okay. Liberia is all we have. I can say one thing. We'll get George Weah out of the Martian October. Anybody but George Weah, you can save this audio recording and this video. George Weah has done his best, and his best is the worst. He can't go beyond this. If there is a gonglo in the runoff, I'm up for it. I can say on this radio, if there's a comments in the runoff, I can go for it. I know Joseph Boaga is either in the runoff or on the first ballot to win, but in the unlikely event, it doesn't happen. It's not George Weah. George Weah is like the guy who is at, look, the man is on a hostage. He's talking to us by action not to re-let him. George Weah is like the guy in whose house a group of armed robbers enter, tie his wife and his children, and say, your bank account is fat. You will go out to the bank and see all men will leave with your wife and children. You will walk with us to that bank calmly and act normal and withdraw good money from your account and give it to us. After that withdrawal, we signal to our friends to leave your family alone or harm, and then you go your way. If you try anything to alarm police or anybody in the bank, we signal to our police in your home to kill your wife and children. So that person is George Weah, who's going to withdraw money on a hostage. And the only hope and prayer he has is for the teller to be smart enough to say the withdrawal is not normal, without raising alarm, so that the hostage taker can detect it to send signal at his house to kill his wife and children. So you pray for the teller to look at our withdrawal and say the withdrawal is not normal. Let's go in the office. The Liberian people are the tellers. George Weah is the client, the customer, who's saying, you look at my first time. I don't have time when your children are raped. I don't have time when the economy is in recession. I don't have time when everything is going downhill. In my worst time, I say I'm the best president. And the only reason why I'm doing it is because Samuel Tuet ain't holding me hostage. He said it. He said, I'm not a politician. I didn't want that people brought me here because they wanted something. And you got a video. Who you appointed to? That's Samuel Tuet. His best is the voice. If you give him a second term, when he had no more future for the presidency, the question Lami asked me whether the country is in deep trouble and whether a short-term, long-term, or medium-term mission to rescue it, it would even be worse. We can't afford a second term for George Weah. We have plenty of potential people here. It's just that Joseph Boakai for now is best suited. And that is why with the rescue team, we'll rescue the country October 10. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Senator Dillon. We appreciate your time on the show tonight. And as always, you are always welcome. Thank you. And may God bless you and your family. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, guys, very interesting conversation. When I pressed this senator on his conversation with Madam Salif, and I think he was very clear not to be pressed any further. But we understood that Madam Salif is back in the business of the politics in Liberia. She is back. She's back in that business. We spoke about the rehab. We spoke about the 13.9 million through Zoka Wilson that he didn't receive, the 2 million that was given by donor partners. We also spoke about the issues concerning the country, the way forward. Cummings asking for Young going through Madam Salif, and they don't say no. We spoke about JMB. We spoke about the way forward of 14 lawmakers, 14 senators. Let's talk. Let's wrap this thing up. Honorable Fagon, your take on Dillon appearance tonight.
I think Senator Dillon was firm. I think he was strong. I think he tried to create the room for a reconciliatory opposition in the event something happens. He was very clear about his invitation with Madam Salif and Madam Salif's involvement in trying to force Alexander Cummings on the Liberian people. I think we look forward to many more interactions, but it's fair for me to say that I foresee a first round victory for JMB given what we saw in District 13 again today. I think I put the videos out there. The Liberian people are resolved. They have asked themselves, why is it this man would serve this woman for 12 years as vice president, and just to promote him to the presidency, she said no. She gave us George Weah. Now that she herself don't want George Weah, she's trying to give us Cummings. What is it she is hiding? What is it that she wants to protect? Why can't she just leave this thing? And for that, they are saying even if JMB is in the grave, they will vote for him in the grave. And I think they're making the right decision. And we'll see it come October 10, that when Liberian people say they mean business, they mean business. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Fagon. Thank you. Mo Ali?
So I thought Senator Dillon is always Very great. But I want to use this time to respond to the usual disrespect that Gibson Jeru renders JMB. To look at somebody of JMB's character and sit on the public platform and say the man can even manage himself. Every time Gibson Jeru makes this comment, he's wearing his CDC garment. JMB runs an office as a former vice president, now being given up pending by the Liberian government. He has staff in those offices. You think how he paid them if he cannot manage himself? JMB runs a farm, 123 acres. Rice farm, he got people working there in Bomi. How you think he paying them if he cannot manage himself? JMB runs a very vibrant foundation. I've put the foundation website there. No, it's not a laughing matter. The foundation has programs. As we speak, the JMB Foundation has 13 students on scholarship in universities. How you think they run it there if he cannot manage himself? The JMB Foundation donated ambulance to Family Medical Clinic in Black Gina. How you think the foundation is doing that if he cannot manage himself? But the point is, I used to think that Gibson Jeru was a journalist who write good stories, who research. But every time he talks about JMB, that respect erodes. Because it will appear to him that JMB is the rival to Councillor Gonglo. So JMB is no rival to Councillor Gonglo. We all respect Councillor Gonglo. So if you brought your CDC garment under the canopy of Councillor Gonglo to disrespect JMB, we'll put you to where you belong. The last time you said he's an ingrate. Today you said the man can even manage himself. Your understanding of somebody saying I'm living on loan means that the person cannot manage themselves. He's living in debt. Which business in the world operates without taking loans from banks? Today I was just reading the news. The United States debt burden has gone to 32 trillion. Does that mean the United States cannot manage itself? We're not rivaling Councillor Gonglo. We respect him, like Dillon said. And I will repeat for you, JMB has donated ferries around. When students died, more than 20 students died crossing in River Cess. JMB carried a motorized ferry there. Today, people don't have to die crossing on canoes. Motorized ferry. There's one between Buchanan and what the other settlement need there in Grand Bass or Idana. Transporting people. There's one between Bom and Bapolu. They've generated more than 40 million Liberian dollars from it. There's one in Nimba. You think somebody who cannot manage themselves will engage into these things? They get up, why JMB done personally? If you're a journalist, you do research. If you're a journalist, you wouldn't make reckless statements as such. And I feel hurt by that statement. Man can't even manage himself. How you think JMB has managed to work both in public and private sector for the last 40 some more years if he cannot manage himself? And come out clean. That nobody can come out to say they man stole. They man did not manage this office well. Gibson, the next time you're making statements, you have to watch your word. We didn't come on this show to come after you. But if you give us that cause, will come after you in a very vociferous way that you will never believe it. I submit.
Thank you very much. Again, we're going to now go to Mr. Gerald Gibson. Talk to us.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me start with Dillon. You spoke for 4 minutes. That was very good. Senator Dillon is a very great friend of mine. I don't know how long I knew him, maybe 2006. We knew each other, and since then we've been friends. We did stuff together and stuff. So he's always been intelligent. Sometimes I disagree with him on certain comments he made, but now he's not making those kind of comments. So our friendship is getting strong. Will be strong again. Let me tell you, where did he go? Let me come back.
He's here. He's in the back. He will come back. Okay. He stay here.
Let me tell you, Mo Ali. When you see me quiet here and being very calm, it doesn't mean I don't know what to say. I have not disrespected JMB. First of all, politics is blood sport. I'm not here to pray JMB for you. Let me tell you now. And when you call another person ungrateful, the synonym for ungrateful is ingrate. It's not an insult. If you feel free to call another person ungrateful, I can also call somebody ingrate. That's the same words I'm using. And you can't frame me of disrespect to JMB. I'm not the one who said he live on loan. If a person said they live on loan, they don't have money. They credit to live. And that is exactly what I'm going to be saying every time I have an opportunity to say it. So you can come after me. Come after me. Look at my record. I'm not like other journalists. I got people who are treated. Ask them. I'm not like other journalists. I'm not like journalists who run beyond money and cattle. Okay, come after me. But I'm here to discuss the issue. And here is where we talk the issue. When I ask a question, it is Dillon's responsibility to respond. He said the man is going to manage the economy of Liberia. And I want to know a person who cannot manage his funds after he leaves office and tell the Liberian people that he live on loan. I'm a businessman. I do business here. I got 2 different businesses I'm making. I never take loan yet. It doesn't mean I will not take loan in the future. But of course, I'm not living on loan. So when somebody said they live on loan, it means they broke. They credit to live. You're talking about a foundation. I run a non-profit here. The office I'm in now, I'm a non-profit office. Okay? And I get grants. That's not my own money. People give money to JMB to spend on a foundation. You call it money? That's not money. So look, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go personal. I don't want to do any of those. When I come here, I raise issue. Let's discuss the issue. And no, you can come after me because I got it for you. The person you should be angry with is Eugene Fagon, who you should call him living dead, who bought Muffin, who said he was almost in the grave. He disparaging, disgraced the man publicly. You don't bear him because he made
I think you're a pathological liar. You are mixing.
No, Fagon, let him finish. Fagon, let him finish. Fagon, let him finish.
You are mixing me with Henry Costa.
So, man, you woke up Eugene.
Fagon, let him finish.
Jerry, you woke up Eugene. Eugene was sleeping. How you woke up also?
Fagon, but you have your time. Let him finish. We'll give you extra time.
Too much. Every day you tell you lie, people.
Fagon, let the man speak. Fagon, let the man speak. You have your time.
Because you raised question about Councillor Gongo. I will respond in the most respectful manner and make clarification where it needs to be. I'm not going to get angry and take it personal. Mo Ali, you can't come after me because I am deadlier than you are. So don't even do that again. Don't even say that on the show no more. Let this issue. These are politicians. Let's discuss their record. You said you said something about Congo the other day. Did I come after you as a personality? So please, I don't want to go there. I asked the question. The politician answered the question. I didn't go there to filibuster him. He responded, and I take my answer. Anybody who wins from the opposition, we are happy. Congo will support JMB. Congo will support Cummings. And we ask also that you support us if we go for runner-up. So please, I don't want to go no personal. I'm raising the issue, and that's the issue I'm here for. And
thank you, Gibson.
Please tell them this is Gibson. Mo Ali, you know me. This is Gibson. Don't go personal.
Gibson, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Councillor, go ahead. Do your closing, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Eugene was trying to sleep, and then Gibson woke him up, man.
Gibson didn't wake me up. I mean, you know that Costa was the one that said that he was a walking dead.
But man, you do win. Let me finish my own
I don't take Gibson kind of heal.
I got a video there. I want to play them.
Gibson, let it be so.
Sooner or later, you'll be refuted for being a pathological liar on the platform. You can't be lying every day, my man.
But wait small now. The maple fire on you. Just wait small. Wait small. The maple fire on you.
Fire and I take 3.5 years each. We are going on a small fire.
Gibson, let it be so. Let's move on. Go ahead, Councillor.
Gibson will take 10 people from Congo camp.
Councillor,
I guarantee you.
go ahead.
And I mean, it was good. Eugene, with small. It was good we had the senator online today. For the first time since all the different surrogates been coming to talk about the Unity Party campaign, for the first time we had somebody who was able to tell you why he's supporting the UP without saying that I'm there because plenty of people there. For the first time. And I think Senator Dillon did a lot of good work for the UP campaign by being very clear. And one basic takeaway, actually two basic takeaways from Senator Dillon. One is on the policy statement that he made that they are not going to confirm anybody for tenure positions going forward. Yes. Strong policy position. He listed like 15 senators that he thinks are in his corner on this particular issue. I hope those 15 senators are actually in his corner, but I think he actually needs 16 of them because with the vice president, if he doesn't have 16 people, the vice president will always take the thing overboard. I hope those 16 people that he listed, those 15 people he listed, I hope they are real 15 people. I hope it's not some of those people when it comes to particular issues they take money and stuff, because that's a major policy decision in an election year. Another thing is that I will close on saying that Senator Dillon noted that there are certain things the next government needs to do to be seen as getting off on a good footing. Going after transparency and accountability by auditing their predecessors, fighting corruption in a serious way, doing war and economic crime court. He listed those things. I'm hoping that Senator Dillon, with his block of 15 people, maybe by the time we have the inauguration, he will have had a 2/3 block of 20, and maybe have a good majority in the House of Representatives also, to be prepared to launch an impeachment proceeding. It doesn't matter who becomes president, including Councillor Gonglo. Senator Dillon should be prepared, working with the House of Representatives, to launch an impeachment proceeding against anybody coming to power who doesn't do these things that he say are fundamentally necessary to be done to take that government off on a good footing. That should be our mantra. Every one of us that commit to that. Let's hold our respective leaders' feet to the fire, regardless of who becomes president, so that we can make sure that this country doesn't continue force starts and then stops, force starts and then stops. We got to get to that point where we move our country forward. And we got to get to the point where it's no longer necessary. In politics, is no longer something that we have to do. I want to be able to sit, do my private stuff, and not even be thinking about who's president in this country, or who's a senator, or who's a representative. It shouldn't matter to me. It should not matter. We should be able to put a dog catcher in the executive mansion and go to bed thinking that the person will do wrong. We should be able to do that. And that's why some of us are in this thing. And finally, to those hundreds and thousands of hungry people out there tonight, be careful. You got one person running for president in a country that will solve your problem. That person is Councillor Teon Seigongulu. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in Fagon. I promise Fagon 10 seconds. Fagon?
Yeah, you know, if you go on Gibson page right now, you will see a rescuer cannot pay his rent. Does JMB live in a rented facility? Is the party headquarters JMB house? You know, everybody can support the candidate. But if every day you come to the platform and you lie, every day they catch you, you lie. You bring newspaper, you lie. You bring letter from Ede, you lie. You bring that one and they keep catching you. My brother, all I can say, I only ask for 10 seconds. You are fading away faster on this platform. Trust me. The Liberian people are very, they will take note. There was a person that came here and they all kind of thing. Boy, Ali that came from nowhere. Laptop in the trap here. You are the CEO of, how they call it? Some carry something. You say you get money. Non-profit. I seen all that. When people say they will come after you, hear me and hear me well. You keep digging the hole that you able to cut off, my brother. Like America, yeah. When they start digging behind you, don't cry. That's just my advice I'm giving you. You just keep going after somebody, insulting the person. JMB now has a fleet of well-intentioned professionals. I'm one of those. And I don't think you will doubt my ability for once of going and digging for ants. I can find it. But
thank you.
We are on the same team. Me, I can't say don't criticize JMB or don't say anything. But to come and lie on me on this platform.
No. Thanks, I beg you. I beg you. No, I beg you. Thank you. I gotta do my closing. Mo, you got anything to say? Mo, you have anything to add? Thank you. So we want to be grateful to God for having a wonderful show again to the team, Damas Slanger, James Goodday, the entire team that producing this program. We say thank you. Thank you to all of our many followers. Mo Ali, thanks a lot. Gibson, Councillor Lamin Bako, the Minister Eugene Lamin Fagon, and myself. Today, Dr. Richardson had to take off because, again, preparing for Father's Day. We want to say Happy Father's Day to all. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God bless our nation. Whatever you may be celebrating your Father's Day, enjoy it tomorrow. Go to church or do what you like to do, and may God be with you. From my end, I appreciate Senator Dillon. Happy Father's Day to him. And I appreciate his time spent on the show tonight. Very interesting. My takeaway was the Madam Salif issue. She's back into the Liberian politics.
Yeah, she
and,
is.
And we will discuss that on Monday. That is something to discuss. We also want to say to everyone, join us on Monday. Again, it will be very interesting. Something is happening in our nation. Something very interesting is happening. We want to play this video. I don't know whether James got this video right, or maybe we can keep it for Monday. Something about the bus load of folks from Liberia who were asked to get in. Yeah, I don't know. James, can you just play for us to go if you have it? And they said no, they're not getting in the bus because they didn't receive the money to go to that program. That was very interesting. James, is it ready?
Everybody no money. Very bad. Very bad this morning. That's what's going on here. The people are getting down on the MTA bus. They're parking right here. The promise is they're going to put $3,000. Oh, you want to put about $2,000? How many promises are you going to give you? Oh, she get down on the bar and see what I'm saying. I see the people getting angry crowd getting down on the buses. We all understand. Why you going to tweet that for? Oh, like the 3,000 people coming out. They put all the money. Oh, so what happened? You want the money put out the too? That's why I went. Yeah, money put out the car by 2,000. Oh, okay. The people that they were coming up and I saw coming in, but the post office and we are put on the bar and they're getting bad, they're getting down. Oh, yeah. You can see the angry crowd getting down on the bus.
I want us to keep that. What's happening, Mo Adi? They promised the people 3,000. If it is true, they didn't give it to them. They were on the bus. President Weah would give them the 3,000. They should go to the program, and they said we're not giving to you guys. The people got off the bus. Mo, where? Come on, man.
No, there are even some places because the report from Police Academy. I was in District 13, and one of the guys sent me a message. They had told the people that they were going to register them and give them loan. At least that's what they told the people from Police Academy. Then they brought the bus and they had the Weah banner on it When some people went in front and saw it, they say, oh, but that politics thing, they went to that. Now loan they going gay. That how the people got down from the bus from the police academy side. Because they thought about loan, but then going to gay loan, then they saw the big we are banner, they say, but then we're not going. The guy sent me the message today, and it was funny. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe what he was saying, because I know the politician at this time can be doing small loan. Then I heard about the video, and then I heard they were having programs, so they wanted the people to go at the program to make it packed, because he was opening some museum and those shoes for working, shoes to fill at the park.
Wow.
So people just
this thing, I think Monday we have a wonderful conversation on this. It's terrible, man. As we march towards the election, something. The people getting off the bus and say, we don't care about Josh Manowiah. This guy have taken our money and he's on his own. Folks, thank you for joining us. Good day, thank you. Dama Slanger, thank you. The entire family appreciate
I gotta
you.
wish my niece happy birthday, man. Tomorrow, on Monday, I gotta show the video, man.
So again, we want to say Monday, Eugene Fagon will be having this show. Eugene, you like to talk about your program starting Monday?
You got a name?
No. You were supposed to come on Monday, and you gotta prepare yourself because you gotta get a special coat suit. So, do you really want to do it Monday or Tuesday?
Eugene, you want to talk about your show starting next week?
Let me see. I'm looking for Sonny Yao.
Okay.
Let me say this to the Liberian people. Monday, Tuesday, I want the stand-up man to come midweek Wednesday, so that he can run the whole country.
The man stay behind me, James. I want to run for the man. He stay behind me.
He can't run nothing. So Monday, I will announce the show name. We'll set the tune. We'll show you our flyers, and everything will be sweet Monday. Tuesday, we'll go away. Wednesday, our first guest will be Stanton A. You just coming home the whole week.
Again, but folks, Eugene is having a show.
Stanton, one other thing quickly. Another thing they did again today, they post schools under the impression that students should go to ATS for some youth training program or something. International Youth Movement, meant to help youth. And students went there. They gave them T-shirts. 2 T-shirts is.
Wow.
With Josh Weah T-shirt. The other kid went home, and the father is refusing to allow her in because she went there. And the other guy who sent me the message, when they realized that it was political thing, he stopped the entire school from attending the program at ATS today.
Wow.
They can't be fooling people when you want to call people for political rallies.
Well, but listen, we got a lot of videos we'll play on Monday. James, how much is it to get a haircut in Europe? It's not me. The people asking, James. It's not me. I'm begging you. But we want to say we are grateful to have you guys on the show. Thank you. Tomorrow is God can bless.
Video where they were booing the president at the market too.
I'm not hearing you, James. Tomorrow is God can bless anybody. Don't forget, the program will be Pastor Raymond and another person will be hosting that program. Be part of the program. God can bless anybody tomorrow. We want to say thank you very much. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God bless our country. Have a good night. James, look at your staff. He's laying back. Look at him. They call him Magic. He took himself from there, James. You better take yourself from there. How much you cut hair in Europe? How much you cut hair? We're not hearing you, man. All right, but then y'all have a good night. Go ahead, play the music of Magic.
Charge